This story would start on planet Earth. On a birthday of Bulma, Vegeta's wife, as usual, both Saiyans began to have a friendly training, starting to move all over the sea and planet Earth, because their powers had reached incalculable powers. However, the deities of Universe 7 had a great conspiracy against the Saiyan Goku, or rather the whole Divine Kingdom had a conspiracy against him, because his powers seemed to have no limits. So the Great Priest, he would begin to take precautions before Goku's able to discover his plan, which was to overthrow the king of all, Zeno-sama. So he had given the mission to the deities of Universe 7 to get rid of Son Goku.
Hey Whis, I know what the High Priest has informed us about the potential danger that Son Goku is, since he doesn't care about the consequences as long as he becomes more powerful.
Understand your point of view, Mr. Beerus, but even if Son Goku has been part of our lives, we cannot disobey the orders of the Great Priest. Both Saiyans were still fighting, however Beerus, at a great flashing speed, would get in front of both Saiyans, throwing a large sphere of destruction at them. And when both warriors were in their base state, they were not able to do anything. However, Goku at the moment, he would begin to be sucked by that large sphere. He would realize how Vegeta, instead, he would begin to perish before that great attack.
Damn, if only I could unleash my power. What the hell are you supposed to do to that stupid cat? I ask for an apology, especially for you, Vegeta, who turned out to be the collateral damage, but the higher-ups have ordered to end Son Goku's life.
Goku, while trying to stop the attack, would be very surprised.
In that case, your Vegeta has nothing to do. It's been a pleasure being your rival. And thank you for every adventure we've lived. I would have liked to say goodbye to my family.
At the moment, Goku, despite not being able to release all his power, he was able to channel a large part of all his power. So the Great Sphere would begin to disintegrate Goku, or that was what it seemed, because at that moment, the Great Sphere would likewise become much larger. But seconds later, it would completely disappear, causing a slight explosion, which would leave everyone present surprised. We have ended Mr. Goku's life, as his energy has completely disappeared, but now it's my turn. Before the Z Warriors are able to do anything, Whis, with his great angelic power, was able to eliminate the Saiyan Goku from all the memories of the Warriors, positioning Vegeta as the most powerful Saiyan in the entire Universe 7, as well as, with his help and that of the Emperor of Frieza, they won the Tournament of Power. I have finished my part, Mr. Beerus, but it will be better to leave because your memories may still be affected.
I understand, Whis. In that case, let's leave for our planet and inform the High Priest that we have fulfilled the mission.
Both deities left again for their planet, so the moment they arrived, Whis, with the help of his staff, would communicate with the Great Priest Daishinkan. Father, we have finished with our mission. In the entire Universe 7, no one knows about the existence of Mr. Goku. Now, only the other angels must erase the existence of Mr. Goku from each of his warriors.
Excellent, Whis. You've been a great help. And of course, I will communicate with each of the other angels so that they'll take their respective measures in each of their warriors.
The communication both would end, however, Beerus would look very thoughtful. What's the matter, my lord? I understand you did not wish to betray Mr. Goku, but you being a god of destruction, I do not think that for a warrior like you would get like this.
I'm fine, Whis, but damn. Thanks to Son Goku, we were able to survive the Tournament of Power. Can't believe we betrayed him like it was nothing.
But, my lord, if we had not done so, you would have seen us pulverized by the Great Priest, and he would have likewise ended the threat of all universes.
Hey, Whis, do you really consider Son Goku a threat?
It could be said that I am in a neutral point, but Mr. Goku, despite his character, always got the whole Universe 7 in trouble. But in the same way, with his great power, he was able to solve any problem that exists. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, but from a very different timeline, that's right, several years to the past, we can observe how Goku would fall to a planet with multiple wounds. However, none of those wounds were serious, so Goku would get a little confused getting up.
What the hell happened? Damn cat's betrayed me! What did he mean by the top brass? I don't think my friend Zeno-sama would be able to betray me.
But inside his clothes, he was able to find a very spherical pearl, or better known as a divine rune, which at the moment of Goku holding it and making some energy flow, a hologram of Beerus could be observed.
So Goku, if you're watching this, it's because we've already betrayed you. It's really not something I ever wanted. but the great priest Daishinkan has given the order to end your life, and if we refuse, we'll be eradicated.
Mr. Goku, I have taught you everything you need to know to be able to overcome your limits. But know that you will be able to take over the power beyond the gods and angels.
I have sent you to another timeline, but being so hasty, I don't know if it was the past or the future. But I know that with your great power, you'll be able to survive.
So that bastard who's behind all this is the useless Daishinkan. In that case, ASH-Dbs were only used. I have to take whatever it takes to get back to my timeline, and to put it into that miserable. I have to become more powerful. For his part, Goku at a distance was able to feel thousands of energies similar to his, and Vegeta's, while at the same way, he was able to feel a known power. That's right, the power of Frieza, the Emperor of Evil, although this time it was much weaker than before. Wow, but if it's Frieza's essence, but his power is thousands of times weaker, if my analysis is correct, I'm in the past. But what about those energies similar to mine? Goku would use his speed, being able to travel through the entire Universe 7 at a high speed. So at the instant he arrived, he could see how a Saiyan similar to him would try to contain a massive attack from Frieza, who was trying to destroy the entire planet of the Saiyans. So I've gone back in time, just when Frieza tried to destroy my planet, but this time I won't let him. When Bardock's attack was completely destroyed, Goku, with a slight wave of energy, was able to disintegrate Frieza's attack, leaving the evil Emperor surprised, because he didn't possess the characteristic armor of the Saiyans.
Who the hell are you, monkey? You are very similar to the Saiyans who opposed me a few moments ago, but you have something that intrigues me.
Frieza, I know everything about you, but it'll be better that you transform since you have no chance against me. Although it doesn't matter that you transform, since you also have no chance against me.
What? How do you know I can transform?
None of my soldiers have been able to see my transformations enough for a simple monkey like you to know. I'll tell you, because after all, you will die. I'll have already finished with your life. I come from the future. I am what you have feared so much. I'm the legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza's expression would change completely. But without trusting himself in the slightest, Frieza would accede to his last form, with which his power was incredible for all the soldiers, with the exception of Goku, who was only a simple breeze.
I don't know if you really come from the future, but there's something about you that even makes me scared. So, I'm not going to trust myself. I'll finish with you with the next attack.
Frieza, at a great speed, would begin to grant him thousands of blows all over the place. The blows, despite connecting in Son Goku's body, did not arise the slightest effect. Frieza, with a great power, would send Goku to fly to a part of the planet, causing a great destruction all around. However, Goku would stand up a little disappointed. Are you really very weak, or is it just that I've returned so much in time? I can't believe that in our first battle, you made yourself an unattainable being.
Damn worm, don't make fun of me. I'm the Emperor of the...
Before Frieza is able to finish the sentence, Goku, with an accurate blow to the stomach, had made him fall to the ground, writhing in pain, while Goku would start walking to where Frieza had fallen. Frieza, no matter what timeline it is, apparently you always be the villain, and that nothing and no one can take it away from you. But I hope that you enjoy the field of flowers that you had told me about so much. In the future, we'll need you for the tournament. Goku, with a sphere of energy, was able to eliminate Frieza completely, while all the other soldiers began to flee the planet because they didn't understand how a single warrior was able to end the life of his emperor without the slightest difficulty. Instantly, Goku would approach the warrior who had given all over his planet, realizing that he indeed was identical to him. While the other Saiyans were very scared, at the moment Bardock would observe him, asking him to take him to a recovery capsule. So Goku, at a great speed, would grant him a little of his energy, because Bardock was in terrible conditions. Upon arrival, Bardock would attend with their respective measures so that he recovers completely. For his part, Goku would go to the top of a mountain of the planet Vegeta, starting to meditate, and in the same way, trying to feel the power of the deities of the Universe 7. Apparently, Mr. Beerus is asleep at the moment, since I'm not able to feel his power, and I still don't have the necessary power to feel the power of... Instantly, in front of Goku, King Vegeta would appear, a little nervous as well as intrigued.
I'm King Vegeta. I'm the ruler of this planet. I'd like to know who you are, and how is it possible you have such resemblance to Bardock? Are you his son, perhaps?
Goku would immediately remember a conversation he had with Vegeta a few years ago.
I'm sure your dad was Bardock, since they both have the same asshole face. But your dad wasn't a bonehead as you are.
Wow, I didn't know that my father was identical to me. I would love to meet him.
Goku would be taken out of his thoughts by King Vegeta, who was waiting for an answer.
That's right, my name's Kakarot, and I'm a Saiyan, which could not allow our planet to be destroyed by that damn Frieza.
I understand, and I just hope that to have your support, you will be the most powerful warrior on the entire planet Vegeta, and you will be the supreme commander of the elite class of the Saiyans.
I appreciate the trust in the position, but I refuse, because in a very short time I plan to leave the planet. But before I go, I'll tell you who I really am, but everything in due time.
Understood. In that case, we'll leave.
King Vegeta, along with his elite warriors, would leave the mountain, so Goku was able to feel the power of his father, teleporting quickly to where he was, arriving just as Bardock was starting to leave the capsule recovery, finding himself very confused of everything that had happened.
Ugh, my head hurts a little bit. But what happened? I should be dead. Frieza's attack was able to destroy my attack completely. How the hell am I alive?
Bardock was surprised when in front of him, he would observe Goku.
Who are you? Now I remember. It was you who saved me when Frieza's attack was about to end my life, but what about Frieza? Where's Frieza? We have to run away, otherwise it'll end us.
You don't have to worry about that. I've ended Frieza's life, and because I am Kakarot, the Saiyan you sent to Earth when he was just a baby.
What? That's impossible. My son's only a few weeks old. He couldn't grow up so fast. So tell me, who are you?
It'll be better to leave this place so we can talk without interruptions.
Goku would hold Bardock and use teleportation, leaving for an inhospitable place on the planet Vegeta. However, Bardock would put himself in a battle pose.
Did Has decide to bring me here because there's no one to end my life? Even if you were able to end Frieza's life, I'm not gonna die without a fight.
Father, I'm really your son. I only come from the future, and I have to be able to prevent the destruction of the planet Vegeta. Because from the future which I come, all the Saiyans die when only 3 or 4 survive.
If what you say is true, then tell me, who's your brother?
My brother used to be called Raditz, but in my time I had to end his life, because he kidnapped my son, and I intended to end his life.
I still don't believe you're my son, but tell me, how do you have so much power? You were labeled as a low-class warrior, so you can't possess all the power you say.
If a low-class warrior tries hard, he can surpass even elite warriors, Father. I've even been able to surpass the gods of destruction.
Gods of destruction? I don't know what you're talking about.
Meanwhile, returning to the original timeline, Daishinkan was preparing his perfect plan to end Zeno-sama's life and become the king of the whole. In the realm of the All Zeno-sama, he was playing with his counterpart from the future, while Daishinkan would begin to put into action his plan to be able to destroy and seize the power of the great Zeno-sama.
This would be much more complex, because there are currently 4 guardians and 2 kings of the whole, but in the same way, if I keep the power of all of them, I'll even have to evolve to a new body.
Daishinkan, realizing how the king of the whole was like a simple child, would be in charge of making a game, which consisted of filling 12 spheres of divine energy. The being that fills the spheres with more power would be the victor. So at the time of sharing his idea, both kings of the whole got excited, starting to transmit their energies, while the guardians watched a little incredulous.
What is Daishinkan supposed to have in mind? And this game is not recommended for a king at all, since he must possess the power required to balance the 12 universes.
For each of their part, both kings of the whole would continue to inject a large part of their powers into each of the energy spheres. So at the moment, it was a draw, but instantly, they wanted to recover their powers. It was impossible for them because each energy sphere would not allow the power to be returned to its bearer. So Daishinkan, in a quick movement, was able to cut both Zeno-samas into 2. So the 4 guardians, without waiting for anything, threw themselves against Daishinkan.
This technique was created by me, cannot fail. Grant me 25% of the power of Zeno-sama energy sphere.
An incredible power would enter Daishinkan's body, creating a great barrier. But to his surprise, the four guardians began to strike as well as attack the barrier. However, they were not able to do anything against that powerful barrier.
We'll have to unite. Since we are also creations of the great Zeno-sama, we must be able to have a similar power by uniting.
The four guardians began to unite, so their power would begin to multiply thousands of times. That's right, being a divine union, it was not only a simple fusion which added the powers of both warriors. No, being a divine union, each warrior was able to multiply his power by 100, and being four warriors, they were able to increase it 400 times. While the four guardians joined, the plus energy they got was able to crack the barrier only with their energy.
What the hell? I didn't understand that those bastards were able to join. Now, damn, this can't be dangerous, but I have no alternative.
Daishinkan immediately began to absorb the energy of both spheres, being able to accumulate all the power of Zeno-sama inside. But the body of a guardian angel was not able to withstand it, so it seemed to explode. That's right, Daishinkan's body, despite being one of the most resistant, could not withstand the power of two kings at all.
Damn, this hurts a lot. I really need the body of a warrior with a much higher resistance than mine.
Daishinkan at the moment would begin to mutate his body due to all the power he was obtaining, and being a guardian priest, also known as the heavenly angel, and being corrupted by the negative energy, at this moment his energy would begin to change to a dark color. While he would be called the new angel of death or underworld priest of Zeno-sama, but his bones were beginning to be destroyed by the excess of energy, while at the moment the barrier he had placed would be destroyed into thousands of pieces.
We have merged, and right now, no matter what you do, Daishinkan, we will end your life.
But the fusion of the Guardians in the same way, I was surprised to realize how the appearance of Daishinkan had completely changed. While in his aura, an incredible warrior who was able to imitate any being stood up all over the kingdom of the whole, being able to even intuit terror into the powerful fusion.
I'm not able to master all this power, but it doesn't matter. This is enough, and this body will be able to withstand the power of both kings completely. Now I'm known as the priest of the underworld, but I'd like you to call you the god-destroying priest.
The fusion, with a great determination, would be launched against Daishinkan. However, his power had changed in an incredible way, being so much that the power that Daishinkan gave off was capable of ending hundreds of living beings that were close to the kingdom of the whole, being able to be observed only as he left rivers of blood as well as his bones.
I want to prove how my infernal aura is capable of finishing with you, cursed.
Daishinkan was able to make his simple aura move, starting to give a beating to the fusion. The damage caused by each blow was an outrage, because at this moment, the power that Daishinkan possessed was much superior. The fusion would be sent to a nearby planet, causing destruction all around. While Daishinkan would descend from the atmosphere of the planet with an incredible authority.
They took the wrong side. At this moment, no matter what they do, I will end their pathetic existence, while I will create my next guardian.
Daishinkan would create a powerful energy golem, so he was able to absorb the vital and divine energy of the fusion, leaving absolutely nothing. That's right, even his bones were pulverized. So at the moment, the golem was able to transmit the energy.
I've been able to master all this power, but now as I am the king of everything of this multiverse, I need a guardian. I will create one with my new power.
Daishinkan would leave a three-dimensional room in which he would begin with his new training to control 100% of the power of both kings completely. For this part, going back to the past, Goku was to tell everyone of his adventures to Bardock, since he arrived on planet Earth, until he was able to win the victory in the Tournament of Power, being able to even overcome all the gods of destruction.
I don't know how much you fill me with pride, my son. I want you to meet with your mother now. I'm sure she'll recognize you just by seeing you.
Both Saiyans began to leave towards Bardock's house, so when they arrived, a Saiyan woman could be seen, who was making food while her Bardock was recovering. But at the moment, both Saiyans appeared in front of Gine, who would be a little angry because they had made her scared.
Bardock, I told you thousands of times that I don't like you appearing like that. Next time, you can even scare me to death.
But I was surprised to observe a warrior identical to Bardock, for while to analyze it, he would approach. But how is this possible? You're Kakarot and I'm your mother, but I'm sure that something must have happened. If only a few days ago, we sent you to planet Earth. Wow, I'm surprised you actually recognized me. I didn't think you'd be able to pull it off, since it's the first time you've really seen me.
There's no doubt. This Saiyan's really Kakarot when he's grown up enough. So at this very moment, we'll tell Gine everything that happened.
Both warriors told Gine everything that had happened. However, Goku had avoided telling them how he had arrived in the past. So at the moment, Goku had decided to train his father, so that he would be able to reach the variants of the Super Saiyan. On the other hand, returning to the divine realm of the present, a gigantic shadow or aura could be observed all over the place. This shadow had yellowish eyes, as only his aura was capable of ending the lives of thousands of warriors, whether gods or angels, because his destructive power had grown in an amazing way.
His power's amazing, and in the room I have trained I have to be better results, being a different dimension to this one. But I need to create a priestess.
That's right, when Daishinkan was corrupted by the excess divine energy, just as his heart had been corrupted little by little for a few thousand years, he would choose to create a woman who would be his guardian, because he had other intentions with that guardian. Daishinkan would use a large part of all his power, with which he would begin with his great creation. After a few weeks, it could be observed how Daishinkan had succeeded. That's right, this powerful warrior who had an inevitable figure would be given the name Freya, which at the moment of opening her eyes, an incredible power would be felt all over the place. Just as lava spreads throughout the kingdom of the All, because being created by the priest of the underworld, her power would be colossal. But over her, the powerful aura of Daishinkan was able to terrify her, which made her enter into control. So, you were the one who created me. For me, it is an honor, so I am ready to any disposition that you grant me.
Understand. In that case, let's go to my bedroom, because for a long time I've not been with a goddess, for the fact that I was plotting my revenge.
Both would leave. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, Beerus and Whis likewise felt like the pillar of that entire multiverse had lost its life. Because being the most powerful deities of the 12 universes, their perception of energy was much greater.
Whis, if this is what it seems, we've done the right thing in sending Goku to a totally different timeline. You'll be able to solve everything that's happening.
That's right, Mr. Beerus, but there are really two possibilities. The first is that Mr. Goku stays in that timeline, is not able to return, and the second is the one that you are saying, Mr. Beerus. But you must have an incredible power to defeat Daishinkan.
I trust Goku, because no matter how complicated the situation's been, he's always been able to get ahead, so he's the salvation of this timeline.
Going back to the past, Goku had been able to teach me, his father, the different transformations of the Super Saiyan, and the Bardock to put it aside. He was able to reach even the Super Saiyan Phase 3 in a short period of time. However, the wear of his energy was unparalleled, so he would start again from the basics to have complete control over his transformations. Father! Mother! Right now I'm leaving because I have to find out a few things about how I got to this place, so I'll be back in a few months.
Understand, Kakarot? When you come back, I want to have a combat with all your power. With that transformation that you call the Saiyan God state, I'm eager to be able to see.
Okay, Father. In that case, you should keep training, because in order for you to be able to master the state of a god, you must be able to master the mortal state first. Goku would instantly begin to move all around 12 universes, with the intention of finding a perfect place for his training. At the moment, he would prostrate himself on top of a planet, starting to think about the possible places. A good option is the time room, but after a certain time, the effect no longer arises. I need a much stricter place. Goku would continue with his great journeys through each of the 12 universes. However, at the border of Universe 12, a very remote place was located. So Goku, approaching at a high speed, was able to cross that great barrier. But the moment he entered that universe, he would notice how his body had become a little heavier. Wow, what is this place? My body's become much heavier. It even seems that the energy that's spread all over this place is much better for the energy flow. But Goku, at the moment, would feel a strange power, but without him being able to react to a powerful blow, would be sent to a planet, causing a great destruction all over the place. So Goku, leaning on one of his arms, was able to hold himself, but blood spreads from all over his body due to such incredible power.
That hurt me too much. He has the same power of a god of destruction. But this universe doesn't possess divine energy. Who the hell hit me?
From the top of the planet, an incredible dark energy would begin to manifest, while a red eye would completely observe Goku, which on this occasion would feel like his whole body would go through a chill, as well as feeling terror. But Goku would expel this state beyond a god. That's right, Goku would make all the divine energy go through his body.
Who are you? And how have you been able to hit me with such power?
But a well-known voice would leave him amazed. So, when that aura that covered the warrior dissipated, a being identical to Goku could be observed. But this warrior wore an armor very similar to that of the Saiyans.
I don't know who you are, but you're identical to me. Although I'm not able to feel your energy, you make yourself very strange to me. But I'm surprised that you're able to resist one of my blows.
I don't know who the hell you are, but your energy's disgusting. And in your aura, I could tell how you ended the lives of thousands of innocent people.
We're Saiyans. Destruction and chaos is in our veins. But I'm not interested at this moment. I'll teach you a few manners.
Goku would get into battle pose, preparing to attack, but he wasn't able to see what the warrior had given him a blow of incredible power, which made him fall to the ground. In incredible pain, at the moment that Goku fell to the ground, several mountains were destroyed by the impact, while the warrior would throw thousands of energies towards Goku.
Is that all? I thought you were a Saiyan warrior. I want you to prove to me that you're capable of doing.
This guy beats up Super Saiyan Phase 3 with ease. I'll have to use my divine energy with my ordinary transformations. But first I'll use all my power in my base state. I can't believe that a Saiyan hasn't trained with a god that has that power.
Goku immediately stood up, channeling all the divine energy in his base state. So at the moment, he had rushed against the warrior, both being with a great battle. However, no matter what he does, because this time, the results were inevitable. The Saiyan would begin to beat Goku, who was barely able to defend himself. In a slight oversight, the Saiyan was able to send him to the ground with multiple wounds.
You're the warrior who's endured the most blows from me. For that reason, I'll show you something.
The warrior would take a bite of a fruit, which was known as the sacred fruit. After a few seconds, the warrior's power would rise exponentially, while the whole universe began to tremble due to all that power. The whole universe in which they were found began to tremble in an incredible way. However, at the moment, an equally gigantic power would become present. Although Turles was not able to feel Goku's power, he had noticed how an incredible pressure was spreading throughout the battlefield. So the instant a blue aura would arise all over the place, while Goku would begin to access the Super Saiyan Blue.
I'm surprised by the power you possess, and even if you don't have the divine energy, your power is even capable of being compared to the power of the gods. My power goes much further than that, so get ready!
Wow, I can't believe it. With what you told me, I can tell that you don't belong to this timeline. But you will reveal to me all the secrets to be able to access that state of God that you say.
Both of them stared at each other, so instantly they began to exchange thousands of blows all over the place. Their battle would spread throughout that universe, although even though Goku had used the power of a god, his body continued to weigh a little, while his enemy was completely relaxed, being the environment in which they had trained most of his life. Goku, with his incredible speed, was able to hold him by the head, making him crash into a planet, being able to cause great damage because the power he had used was overwhelming. However, from the top of the whole place, a giant of dark energy was able to deal him an incredible blow, which had likewise sent him to one of the end of the planet.
How's he able to keep hurting me? If I have the energy of a god, even if I don't like to accept it, he is at this moment a mere mortal, unlike Mia.
I can see that with you, I'll have to use all my power. Since the grip you've used against Mia has been effective, you've caused me great damage.
What? He still hides a lot more power. This really won't be easy at all.
The Dark Saiyan this time would start accessing the Super Saiyan, with which his power would increase in a huge way. But at the moment, a big explosion would be created, so he'd take advantage of it to be able to deliver an incredible blow to Goku's face, which at the moment he was able to recover, and again they began to exchange thousands of blows. But this time, both warriors were very evenly matched, which would leave Goku very surprised because he possessed the energy of a god. At the moment, both warriors took a little distance, while Turles would start laughing like a maniac.
I can tell that you're a very powerful warrior, so with you I'll be able to use all my power, since no warriors forced me to use this power.
Goku's gaze would change to one of total confusion, while a little fear would begin to travel all over his body, which he had not experienced in such a long time. Turles' power would begin to rise in an incredible way, while his hair would return to its black color again. But this time, it would begin to grow in a great way, while his simple aura was able to.
What the hell? Who is this Saiyan? How is it possible that he has all this power?
The power of Turles at the end would make Goku enter into a complete terror, since even his aura warned him about the risk of facing that subject, since instantly Turles' aura was hundreds of times higher than Goku's aura.
Sorry for the delay, but I'm not used to accessing this transformation since you're the first warrior I'll try with it.
Goku, before being able to say anything, Turles was able to hold him by the head, starting to destroy an entire planet with Goku's body, which, while being dragged, blood was spreading from all over his body. Turles, with great power, would send him to a few mountains, creating a huge explosion.
Apparently, even you aren't able to withstand all the power of my most powerful transformation. In that case, I'll have to finish you once and for all.
Goku, in one of his hands, would begin to channel all of his power. So the instant that Turles would begin to approach, being a few meters away, Goku would throw his incredible attack. But to his surprise, Turles was able to stop his attack with his simple hand. And instantly, Turles would expel a large sphere of energy, which he sent to fly to Goku. While in the same way, he had returned to his base state in terrible conditions.
Damn, will I really die in this place? I can't believe all this is happening.
Returning to the present, Daishinkan had been able to master all the power of the Guardians as well as the power of the Kings at all, while he had also spent excellent times with Freya as his heart and mind had become completely corrupted. However, Freya's heart likewise contained pure evil, although a little the essence of the original angel Daishinkan, which would make everything they did question.
Is everything Daishinkan is doing really right? He is, in a nutshell, is my creator. Although he has given me great power, we should not do intimate things.
Freya would be taken out of her thoughts by the voice of Daishinkan, who would request her for help for a new training, in the same way that Freya increases her power in an incredible way to begin the plan to eradicate all the creation of Zeno-sama. Freya, when she arrived before Daishinkan, she was terrified to observe a giant with yellow eyes staring at her, so Freya would increase all her power, throwing thousands of destructive energies. A great curtain of dust would rise all over the place, not being able to make any scratch, which on this occasion almost made her wet her pants from the terror she had.
There's nothing to worry about, Freya, since this is my aura, which I am trying to completely master, and I want you to be able to summon it anyway.
Can I summon that thing too? But what is he supposed to do?
At this moment, we'll access another dimension, in which we'll start with our new training, and I'll teach you how to master your killer aura and the dark power.
I understand, Daishinkan-sama. I will do everything you ask. I promise not to let you down.
I completely trust you, and together we'll be able to bring absolute destruction to the Divine Kingdom. Although we have finished with the pillar, I am sure that the Celestials, the beings who are above the King of the All, really exist.
The Celestials? With all the knowledge that you've given me, I don't have any data about warriors of such a name. Who are they?
It is said that the Celestials only appear when a multiverse is about to fall before the agony and destruction of everything that is in it. And if we're able to defeat them, we'll be able to access a world that no being has been able to reach.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Let's train, Daishinkan-sama, please, and I want to become just as powerful as you.
I hope you're prepared, as my training's extremely complicated. I hope you possess the stamina to endure it.
Both warriors, at the moment of arriving that dimension, began with their great training, in which Freya would begin to move all over the place, while the only aura of Daishinkan was able to stop each of their attacks. Although to be able to keep the technique active, she must have almost infinite energy reserves. But if she was able to achieve it, her defense was almost impossible to break. And this would be realized by Daishinkan and Freya, because although Freya would use each of her techniques and powers, she wasn't able to do anything against Daishinkan.
1,000 paths of the Divine Priest.
The aura was able to attack Frieza with thousands of blows, which, despite being limited in energy, they were able to cause incredible damage, making her fall towards a place of the terrain in which they were training. Going back to the past, Goku's screams were able to be heard throughout the universe. However, Turles, getting bored of torturing him, would stare at him while his expression was of superiority.
You're something powerful. Well, first of all, my power, you turned out to be nothing more than a simple ant. So I'd better end your pathetic life.
Turles would throw several spheres of energy towards Goku, who at this moment was able to dodge each one of them, while at the moment, his power would begin to rise as more spheres that Turles threw, his power began to increase. At the moment, Goku would open all of his eyes, realizing that the color had changed to a silver one, and from an incredible scream all over the place, Goku's aura would color in a great way, starting to walk, and instantly, all of Goku's hair would turn a silver color, while his energy would disappear completely, just like the pressure that Goku gave off.
What is this transformation? At this moment, even your incredible pressures disappeared. Is it a useless transformation?
While Turles was laughing uncontrollably, Goku was able to approach with incredible speed, delivering a precise blow in the center of the stomach, which was powerful enough to make him vomit large amounts of blood.
What? How's he able to give me so much damage with a simple blow?
Turles would begin to stand up again, however he would fall to the ground again, vomiting much more blood. That's right, Goku's simple blow contained so much power that the damage he had received was incredible, so it was too difficult for Turles to stand up. Meanwhile, Goku would begin to approach Turles, who would try to do everything to stand up, but it was completely impossible for him due to the great difference in powers. However, at the moment, Turles, with all his determination, was able to stand up, although he had suffered incredible physical damage, but the really serious damage was the mental damage, since no one had ever humiliated him in such a way. So, for the first time, he would begin to feel the real terror starting to shake uncontrollably.
What is this feeling? Damn, am I even afraid of this damn guy? What is this transformation? Even the pressure he has completely disappeared, but the power he's able to release overwhelms me.
Turles, without caring about how his body felt, he had thrown himself against Goku, who this time was in full control of the battle, starting to humiliate Turles with each exchange of blows because Turles' speed did not compare with the reaction time of the Ultra Instinct. For that reason, Goku was able to dodge and hit him, while Turles had not been able to connect a single blow. Goku connected every blow. At the moment, Goku, using a little more of his power, was able to send him to fly, being dragged by a few mountains around him. However, at the moment, Goku would notice how even his internal system would begin to decrease its power. The more the battle went on, so he had decided to end the battle.
I plan to end this battle that should have never started, since I hadn't done anything to disrespect you. But at this moment, I plan to send you to the other world. Don't think I'm gonna give up so easily.
Goku would begin to channel all his power in a definitive attack, while Turles would likewise begin to gather all the remaining power that he had left. So at the moment, both warriors launched their definitive techniques. Although at the moment of the clash of powers seemed somewhat even, Goku, by increasing his power much more, was able to destroy Turles' attack in less than 3 seconds. So the combined attack was able to not leave even ashes of Turles' body. Goku would immediately go down to the surface of the planet, and with a loud scream, his power, he would collapse, while purple-colored rays were starting to come out of his whole body, as well as too much blood.
This was the same thing that happened to me in the Tournament of Power. The power beyond the gods. I have to master it completely to be able to use this power without having these side effects. Damn!
Returning to the present, Daishinkan along with Freya were able to finish with their great training, so they were determined to finish with every god and angel. That's right, even though the angels were his children, his greed would lead him to the end of the lives of all his children.
Daishinkan, we're ready. Where do you want us to start?
I'll give a statement to all the 12 universes so that they know where they are going to face.
Daishinkan will release all his aura for the 12 universes, being able to observe the incredible being for the top of all the 12 universes, making all the divine beings panic. But the voice of Daishinkan would resonate for every corner.
Gods and angels, I hope you're prepared, since from today, I am the new ruler, and I intend to end the creation of Zeno-sama completely. And an apology to you angels, since I intend to end you regardless of whether you're my children.
The incredible aura would disappear from the whole place, leaving all the divine beings with too many questions. Meanwhile, in Universe 7, Beerus and Whis would stare at each other.
So, this is what it's all about. For that damn reason, the useless Daishinkan asked that we finish with Son Goku, since he was the only warrior capable of ending this whole farce.
Indeed, Mr. Beerus, but don't worry. Even though we are more to destroy by Daishinkan, you and I know that Mr. Goku is becoming more powerful every day. He will put an end to my father's reign.
You're right, Whis. But I hope Goku will be able to beat Daishinkan, since even he's able to end Zeno-sama's life. His power must have increased in an incredible way.
I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, but we have to trust Goku. He has always been able to find a solution to every problem. Returning to Goku, he was meditating in order to fully recover, while in the same way he was trying to access the Ultra Instinct at will to be able to dominate it and take his power to the next level. While Daishinkan was ready to gather all his troops, they were finished with every being of divine energy. My lord, we are all ready and waiting for your order to end the divine kingdom.
It's time. The new priest of death and you're Freya, my priestess. We must be the only rulers.
Daishinkan, along with Freya, began to move through each universe. However, in this time, in the same way each of the gods and angels had decided to meet with the most powerful god, which was the god Beerus of the Universe 7.
Brother, what are you gonna do? The presence of the great Zeno-sama has completely disappeared. In case everything Daishinkan has said is true, none of us will be able to do anything against him. Champa's right, as none of us possesses the required power to stand up to Daishinkan. But we won't go down without a fight. Gods and angels, Daishinkan has some time ago asked me to eliminate Son Goku from all universes, even to erase his very existence so that he won't be able to be reborn.
But if what you say is true, that means that Daishinkan was afraid of that Saiyan.
And your damn Beerus, you have ended our last hope.
The powerful god of Universe 4, with a great fury, had rushed against Beerus, giving him a powerful blow in the face, which would cause great devastation all over the place. However, when the smoke dissipated, it could be observed as Beerus, with one hand and without any effort, was holding the god of Universe 4 tightly by the neck.
Let me finish talking, you damn worm. And no, I'm not done with Son Goku, but I had to send him to a different timeline. When he's ready, he'll be able to help us with this great war. For the moment, we have to be the resistance of the multiverse. Brother, I understand that you're giving us to understand, but it's practically impossible, since he's even able to defeat Zeno and his guardians. A simple god like us will not be able to do anything. But with pathetic mentality that you possess, it's clear you won't be able to do anything. The first thing we must do is change our mentality completely, so as not to be useless.
I understand everything you're saying, Beerus, but that's practically impossible, because the power of a god can't be compared to the power of an angel, much less the power of Daishinkan. Beerus, at the moment, with a big smile and putting one of his hands on his planet, he would begin to channel a large part of all his power. That's right, the increase in true power of Beerus would begin to become present, because this time, the power he was able to release was a bestiality. After a few moments, a great explosion of destructive energy would be observed all over the place, while instantly a completely different Beerus could be observed. That even his power was able to overshadow the power of the angels present, with the exception of the power of Whis, because this one had also followed a rigorous training to be able to become more powerful. Meanwhile, the other angels and gods were not even able to move due to the pressure emanating from Beerus, because in the new state, his power was able to even eliminate him with one blow. This is the power that I have achieved in my arduous training. But beings like you who think they're not able to increase their power are much more.
They're pathetic beings. Only we know who our limit is.
My brothers and gods, to face Daishinkan, we will have to team up again with the mortals of the 12 universes. Like all the angels, we will form a single being, while the gods and mortals alike.
That means that only 3 beings must face Daishinkan.
That's right, Champa.
Because no matter how many warriors we gather, if our power is insignificant, we won't be able to do anything. But if we unite, we have some possibility. With our AZ arrives up our sleeve.
In that case, we will be better to warn each other of our warriors and start preparing so that we will be able to be ready for the great threat that is approaching. Each god and angel had left for their respective universe to this time ask for the help of the most powerful mortals of all the kingdom of the All, while on the other hand, Beerus had returned to his base form. So Whis and Beerus began to walk all over the planet while talking about everything that was happening.
Hey Whis, since we know Daishinkan's intentions, it's time to do it. We must return all the memories to the Earthlings of planet Earth.
I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, so that Mr. Vegeta even has the urge to become much more powerful. We must not lose this war. We must resist as long as possible until Mr. Goku arrives. Going back to the planet, Goku in all this time had completely recovered, so he had trained in that inhospitable planet, which on this occasion was beginning to simulate all that gravity, which the first day would not even allow him to move freely. While Goku spent more in the place, he was able to feel how each energy vein dilated much more. That's right, his veins were able to expand and carry much more energy load. But very few warriors were able to continue with that training in that universe, because sometimes even the bones were broken by the pressure. The pressure I'm getting is incredible, but in the same way, it's very painful. I can't believe that there is a universe with these conditions. I have to become much more powerful. I'm sure that something very bad's about to happen in my timeline. Goku would continue with his great training, which at the end of the 8 months, Goku had been able to master the Ultra Instinct in its entirety, being able to access said state at will and without having side effects that put his life at risk. I've finally been able to master the Ultra Instinct. At this moment, I must be able to take my body to a new level. I have to be able to master the energy of the angels. Goku would continue to the imperfect Ultra Instinct, with which he would begin to move through each of the 12 universes, being able to reach Universe 7, which would leave him surprised that Beerus is training with Whis. But at the moment, both deities were able to feel a gigantic energy that had them in his sights.
That energy is coming from above us. Who the hell are you? Apparently you're a Saiyan, but your energy is even capable of being compared to the power of the gods.
Beerus, at a flashing speed, would fall down behind Goku, trying to give him a blow. But when he was inches from touching his body, Goku was able to move to the side of Beerus, causing him a slight blow, which was powerful enough to send him to the ground to crash, causing a great destruction all over the place. Whis was surprised because at first sight, it seemed like a simple blow, but was amazed by the fact that he was able to disintegrate hundreds of mountains all over the planet, and the planet of the God of Destruction was much more resistant than any planet. This is amazing. I can't believe the power you possess. At a glance, you're a Saiyan who has been able to master a part of the Ultra Instinct, a state beyond the gods. As observant as always, Whis, but I didn't think you'd be able to notice my Ultra Instinct if I have it at the lowest level. This mortal is very peculiar. He knows my name, and besides, he says that the state of being able to use the Ultra Instinct is the lowest. That should not be possible. From a big explosion, Beerus would expel all his power because the blow he'd received had caused incredible damage. So instantly, without caring, he launched himself against Goku, who without any difficulty was able to dodge each of his blows without greater effort. That's right, the power that Goku possesses this time was enough to face an angel, and if he used all his power, he was even able to give battle to Daishinkan before he absorbed all the power of Zeno-sama. Goku, with a slight blow, was able to send him to a few rocks, in which Beerus would begin to release too much blood all over his body.
Damn it! Who the hell is that Saiyan? How is it possible that he's able to cause me so much damage with a few simple blows?
Goku would start walking towards Whis, turning his back completely to Beerus, which would make him much angrier. Beerus, using his energy reserves, launched himself again, but this time Goku would stare at him, and of a great mental power, he was able to leave Beerus out of combat, while he would continue approaching Whis. I can see that you have no bad intentions. However, you would be able to end Mr. Beerus's life with a single blow. But who are you?
I come from the future, Whis, and I come to ask you to teach me how to master the energy of an angel, because in my timeline, Daishinkan has betrayed us, and I'm sure he wants to end everything that has built Zeno-sama. Please, help me. You're the one I trust.
Goku would show Whis the sphere that Beerus had given him when he had arrived in this timeline. So Whis would realize that everything the Saiyan was telling him was the truth, but he had thousands of doubts because his father would betray the Divine Kingdom. Okay, I'll help you to raise the angelic energy, but first, I need you to release all your power, to know what level you currently possess.
Okay, I'll surprise you. Since I've trained tirelessly to have all this great power, and to be able to save my timeline.
Goku would access the perfect Ultra Instinct, with which his power was able to make Whis fall to his knees. Despite the fact that Goku hadn't obtained a new transformation since that timeline arrived, his body was able to withstand much more energy load. Goku, realizing Whis was not even able to move, he would decide to return to the imperfect Ultra Instinct, so that Whis was not affected by this. Wow, it really shows that my part of the future has trained you in an excellent way. But then tell me, do you want me to give you the secrets of angelic energy? Since you currently surpass my power by thousands of times, I can't train you.
Same, Whis. If you give me the knowledge to unlock much more potential with angelic energy, I know I could do it on my own. Thank you very much.
Whis, at the moment with his great power, he was able to transmit all the knowledge about angelic energy to Goku, who was able to fill himself with knowledge, even observing in his mind a transformation far beyond the Ultra Instinct.
I thank you, Whis. It's time for me to leave for training. I have to save my timeline.
This is how Goku was able to begin again to move around the entire Universe 7. Arriving at the temple where the Room of Time was located and not being recognized by the God of Earth, Goku, with his incredible speed, was able to enter the Room of Time without being discovered. So he would begin with his new rigorous training. Returning to the present, all the warriors of Universe 7 had remembered their savior, while even Vegeta remembered his greatest rival. And remembering his last training, but without wasting time, all the mortals, they had decided to merge with Vegeta. That's right, Vegeta would be the base body so that it supports all the energy load, as well as being able to evolve much more. So at the moment, the last warriors present would be Jiren, Toppo, and Hit, who observed the Prince of the Saiyans with a big smile.
I never thought I'd have to join you, Saiyan, but we'll do whatever it takes to make our multiverse survive.
You also possess already the energy of destruction. I'll be of great help to increase your power. We trust you, Vegeta.
I'll grant you each of my techniques as an assassin. Use them wisely, and finish with those miserable ones. I trust you, Vegeta. We'll be the annihilating resistance of this multiverse.
The trio of warriors would transform into energy, beginning to enter the body of the Prince of the Saiyans, while for their part, all the angels had merged, beginning to create a new warrior, which this time even Daishinkan and Freya had been able to feel the full magnitude of his power. Daishinkan, that power is gigantic. I dare say that's on par with our power. Whose incredible power is that?
Freya, you're really surprised by so little power? The training we had is just for that. It doesn't matter if a warrior's a little more powerful than us. We have the dark energy, or also known as massacre energy.
I know, Daishinkan, but don't forget that if a warrior's much more powerful than us, he's able to neutralize all kinds of energy that we use in his body.
Excellent point of view, but that's the fusion of all my children, and they only slightly surpass us. We'll be able to beat them without any problem.
But equally, two gigantic powers were felt all over the place. While on top of the 12 universes, a sky-colored giant energy would form.
We will be the resistance of the entire Zeno-sama multiverse. We'll not let you finish with the creation of the king. So you want to start competing against Mia? Oh, interesting. Unfortunately for you, the only warrior who has a threat to me is already dead. And it doesn't matter if you merge or train, you're just simple worms on my side.
Daishinkan in the same way would release all his incredible aura, representing himself again, the gigantic power that is in the entire multiverse of Zeno-sama. That's right, the battle for the throne was about to begin. good against evil, while Goku would continue with his great training to be able to defeat Daishinkan once and for all. The aura of Daishinkan in the same way had intensified in an incredible way. That's right, this time both sides wanted to end this once and for all. So instantly, without prior, both sides began to approach. However, on the side of the gods, the angels and the fusion of the Saiyan Vegeta would be the combatants, while all the gods in the same way had joined the body of Beerus. However, Beerus would be of support since this would reinforce his companions with bursts of energy. At the moment, the fusion of Los Angeles, he had created an imposing being of angelic energy, which had even wielded a sword with the energy of a high priest. So, instantly, the fight between the fusion and Daishinkan would begin, while at the moment, Vegeta would stand in front of Freya. "I'm surprised by the power you possessed, but you still remain immortal, and me being a higher creation, you will not be able to do anything against me."
I'm not interested in you being a woman. If you get in my way, I'll destroy you, and I won't allow them to do more destruction. So I have to give my life for everyone I love.
You sound very confident and brave, but it's a pity that your words can't measure up to your strength.
What do you think if we check it out, since I want to crush you?
Freya, with a flashing movement, had thrown a big blow at him, but she was surprised when she realized, like Vegeta, with a much faster movement, she'd been able to prostrate herself on his back.
You better take this battle seriously, or else you'll get really hurt, and I don't plan on taking responsibility.
Furious, Freya would grant him a kick, but Vegeta's speed was flashing, or that was what Freya believed, because at the moment, Vegeta in his first movement was able to deal him a blow, which he made fall to the ground with incredible power, so much so that he's almost able to knock her out of combat. Freya would immediately begin to vomit large amounts of blood, since the damage he had caused was of an incredible level. Damn it, what happened? I wasn't able to see anything. No matter how fast it is, I have to be able to at least watch when it hits me.
What have you been up to? I thought that he'd be able to do something against me, even if you put your hands, because if we continue like this, I'm gonna get bored, and the hit time jump techniques are very useful.
The last Vegeta would only think about it, so instantly Freya would begin to increase a large amount of all his power. So at the moment, devastations were happening all over the 12 universes, but the warriors on this occasion were not able to do anything.
Vegeta apparently has the battle under control. In this case, I'll help the angels.
Beerus, in the same way, had pounced against Daishinkan in the same way. However, Daishinkan, despite being at a disadvantage, he didn't look concerned. In fact, he would start fighting with both without any problem.
Despite having merged and fighting both against me, they're not able to do anything against me. But I'll show them that I am capable.
Daishinkan at the moment would take a little distance, so his incredible aura would be represented all over the place. Starting to give a beating to both warriors, Vegeta at the moment would realize the great technique, so he would say to himself,
"Well, I'm sure that I can release an Ozaru in the same way. That's the ability to repel the Daishinkan one. I have to try."
However, Freya, realizing that Vegeta was off guard, rushed against him, but the prince, with a powerful blow, was able to knock her out of combat. So he would close his fists, starting to concentrate. After a few seconds in which both warriors were still being slaughtered, an incredible aura in the form of an Ozaru could be observed. And without warning, he was able to destroy Daishinkan's aura. But his aura would likewise be destroyed, needing a great part of spiritual energy.
What? How have you been able to create an aura like mine? Moreover, as he has been able to destroy her.
Both deities began to fall, so they would be held by the Prince of the Saiyans, who had transmitted some of his power to them, so that they would be able to defend themselves, in case Freya regained consciousness.
Don't worry, I'll take care of this wretch. I'm not planning on losing, so you better get ready. Good for nothing, Guardian. I'm surprised by the power you have. Despite being a mere mortal, your energy and skill in battle surpasses those two.
At the moment, both were observed. Without meditating any words, they threw themselves against each other. The battle of both was devastating, so much so that millions of living beings for all the 12 universes were dying. That's right, the amount of innocent beings was surprising. But Vegeta was not able to stop because he knew that if they lost, the entire multiverse would be eradicated by Daishinkan. So instantly, both gave themselves a powerful blow, which had sent them flying to a planet. Both began to spit a little blood.
Wow, the power of your fist is amazing. You don't compare at all to the other garbage I defeat. With you, if I'll be able to move something, the muscles. Apparently, that stupid one hasn't been able to master all the dark power after all, so I better put it to better use.
Daishinkan and the sphere of dark energy would disappear from the place, appearing next to Freya, who was beginning to regain consciousness, but she was very badly injured. Daishinkan-sama, please help me. I'm sorry, I haven't been able to meet your expectations.
Don't worry. After all, I already knew you were a good-for-nothing.
Daishinkan would instantly place his hand on Freya's forehead, which would instantly feel an incredible pain, as her life had been taken away by her creator himself, while the energy began to flow throughout Daishinkan's body.
Being a good-for-nothing, you better get back the power I put in you, so this very moment you'll disappear.
Freya was not able to do anything against Daishinkan, and instantly she would disappear from the place, since Daishinkan had left absolutely nothing of Freya. While her power had been enhanced in a superhuman way, even one of her wounds was regenerated.
Right now, I have 100% of all my power again. I'm ready for this second round, so you better get ready, Saiyan. I can't believe what a scumbag you are. You didn't mind taking the life of your own creation. She fought for you, and you got rid of her, as if she was absolutely nothing. It doesn't seem to me that you're the ideal person to question me. You Saiyans destroyed planets, ending the lives of beings for pure pleasure. I know. For that very reason, I'm planning to give my life to remedy everything I've failed. I don't think you'll be ending the lives of innocent people anymore. I want to check it. You know that if you are powerful enough to achieve it, you miserable worm.
Instantly, both began their great battle again. But this time, the blows received by the Prince of the Saiyans caused incredible damage. Bruises appeared all over his body, as well as internal bruises. The deities, realizing this, likewise rushed to help Vegeta. For his part, in the past, Goku had been able to finish with his great training, because this time, he'd been able to have total control of his energy. So at the moment, he would leave the room of time at an incredible speed that had not even been perceived by anyone. I have to say goodbye to my parents before I leave. Goku would begin to move around the universe, arriving at his planet quickly, observing his father, who continued with his rigorous training. Wow, I'm surprised by the power that runs through your body, Father. If you keep this up, you'll be surpassing me. There's no doubt about it.
Kakarot, how long without seeing you? I've been able to master my energy completely, just like none of my transformations possess an energy drain.
Father, I'm glad to know, and I assure you that when all this passes, I'm able to return. I'll teach you to master the energy of a god.
Are you gonna leave, my son?
That's right, Father. I have to be able to save my timeline, and I feel a very bad feeling.
I understand, my son. I trust in the power you possess, and please, don't forget us.
I'll never do it. Please say goodbye to my mother.
Sure, Kakarot, I'll do it.
Goku would leave the planet, being able to reach the center of Universe 7, in which, being able to expel a large amount of energy, he was able to open several portals to other timelines. However, when Goku began to concentrate, he was able to feel how among all the different timelines, in one incredible negative power was felt, while the power of Vegeta, Beerus, and Whis began to decrease in an incredible way. Oh, damn, my friends are about to die! Hey, this can't be like this! Goku with a great speed would begin to enter into the multiverse and its original timeline, but the moment he would arrive, he would be stopped. That's right, the Megaversal Time Pause would have been activated, in which at the moment only Goku was able to move, realizing how everything around him had become paralyzed. What happened? Why is it that the entire multiverse has come to a standstill? In front of Goku, a Zeno-sama could be observed, which left him surprised, since according to the assumption he had, the great Zeno-sama had died at the hands of Daishinkan. Goku, there's no time. Daishinkan has really betrayed us and has kept my power. But not being a worthy being, he won't be able to even use 10% of all my power. But I choose you.
To grant you, I grant the essence of which I once had, the great Zeno-sama.
Goku, before being able to say anything, an overwhelming power would start to enter all over Goku's body, while his hair started to grow, as on this occasion, he needed to evolve, as otherwise his body might explode.
Don't worry, this temporary break lasts about 3 months, so I trust that in that timeline you'll be able to master all my power. I know that you can, my friend.
After a few hours, Goku was able to contain all the power of Zeno-sama. However, he wasn't even able to take a step since his body was so heavy, like his muscles were too big, but the power that ran through his body was impressive.
The power that Zeno-sama has given me is incredible, but I have to be able to master it, because no matter how much power I possess, if I'm not able to move, I'll end up defeated.
Goku in these 3 months would begin to train his new power, because he knew that the power possessed by Daishinkan was not at all low. Goku in all this time was able to master 78% of the power of Zeno-sama. However, the 3 months had already passed, so at the moment, time would pass normally again.
It's time to end your life once and for all. If they're not able to do anything, they're not worth continuing to live. Damn, I'm sorry, I haven't been able to protect them. I'm useless. Damn, I hope Goku gets ready, because this power this traitor possesses is incredible.
Thousands of energy arrows were directed towards the 3 warriors who had accepted their fate, since the power of Daishinkan, after absorbing Freya, had been enhanced in an incredible way.
I've finally been able to put an end to these scum. Now I have to be able to become the master and lord of this whole pathetic multiverse.
However, when the energy fletches were about to collide with the warriors, the arrows began to disintegrate, leaving absolutely nothing, which left Daishinkan very surprised, as well as everyone present, since a being of enormous angelic energy was able to hold the trio of warriors.
What the hell? Who's being able to release all that incredible amount of energy in his aura?
While the aura of the angel held him, the trio of warriors had fully recovered, being equally surprised, since they understood absolutely nothing, but like a flash, an incredible warrior wrapped in silver aura would stand in front of Daishinkan, who, with a simple pressure, was able to break several of his bones.
Is that how little power you've gotten in this time? It's a pity. You're just another worm compared to me.
I remember that voice. I remember that damn voice. It's not possible. The deities of Universe 7 informed me of your death. So it can't be you, Son Goku.
Everyone surprised at that moment that aura would begin to fade, a very different Goku could be observed. Since on his body, even the symbols of the great Zeno-sama could be observed, while his gaze imposed respect.
It's a pity that the deities of Universe 7 knew about your plan much earlier, so they were able to send me to a safe place. I know that you were able to return, Goku. You've been able to end everything created by the great Zeno-sama. I'm sorry for leaving everything in your hands.
Kakarot, you and I will be the most powerful Saiyans of all the universes. Of that, there's no doubt. Now please make him feel the true terror.
Goku would begin to approach Daishinkan, which at the moment, in spite of everything, would still release all his power, so 2 incredible auras began to collide. Goku had accessed his maximum power, with which he was prepared to face Daishinkan, who was equally surprised but above all furious to learn that he was deceived by the deities of Universe 7.
Damn good for nothing maggots. I plan to finish with you. Divine Palms.
Daishinkan's aura had pounced against the warriors. However, a similar technique would be executed, but the power on this occasion was much more powerful than Daishinkan's.
Beerus, Whis, I'm sorry for thinking that you guys had betrayed me. You were able to give me a new chance, and I'm not gonna let you down.
Goku, you really have an incredible power, but it's not time for you to face Daishinkan yet. The Cursed One has even taken over the negative power.
Mr. Goku, we will give our lives for you, but leave, because we will never have a savior like you again here.
Insect, to give my life for you, I never thought I would do something so pathetic. But you really are the only warrior who'd be able to defeat Daishinkan.
Since when do my people die so easily? I'll not allow that, because right now, I intend to finish with that miserable worm.
Daishinkan, camouflaged in shadows, would move towards Goku's back. However, Daishinkan's fist, when collided with Goku's back, had been disintegrated.
I'll be better to wait patiently for your death, because I intend to humiliate you in the worst way possible. I intend to make you regret everything you've committed.
Daishinkan, using a large part of his vital energy, was able to heal his arm by taking a little distance. However, his face could be observed the terror that Son Goku inflicted on him, since the negative energy was not so easy to destroy.
What the hell happened? How was he able to disintegrate my arm? Is his energy much more powerful than the energy of destruction?
Goku would create a purple barrier with destructive energy, but at its core, a large amount of celestial energy will not allow Daishinkan's attacks to be able to destroy it, since he had to possess a much more powerful celestial energy.
It's time, Daishinkan. At this moment, you'll be the warrior who's able to end my life, or do you call the gods to do your dirty work for you?
Goku would move at an incredible speed against Daishinkan, being able to grant him a slight blow on the chest, only to cause him more panic. Daishinkan, at the moment of reacting, would try to take distance, but this time it would not be a slight blow, since Goku, with an incredible blow on his stomach, was able to make him fall to the planet, creating a great destruction for everything in his path.
Haven't you been able to see it coming? Don't tell me you're good for nothing in combat.
On the ground, it could be observed as Daishinkan spat out large amounts of blood.
No, damn. The body I possess is the perfect body. Fucking Saiyan mustn't be able to manage to do this to me. I can't allow it.
Daishinkan would stand up, releasing all his power, even much more power than the body was able to withstand. At the moment, Daishinkan would throw himself against Goku, which Goku would respond in the same way. Both warriors began to have an incredible fight. Their simple blows were able to destroy everything around them, because the power was amazing, although there were not so many planets left due to the fight against the deities. The few planets that were left standing were completely destroyed. Daishinkan at the moment would start the same way to attack with his aura. That's right, the feeling was similar to a 2-on-1 battle. However, as surprising as it may seem, Goku was able to face both Daishinkan and his aura. Instantly, Goku's gaze would release a bright red ray, creating everything around him to completely change.
Lightning of the Celestial Emperor!
The incredible lightning was able to destroy everything in its path, just like incredible rocks were destroyed all over the place. Daishinkan, with his great speed, would try to dodge everything, but instantly, in the same way, thousands of rays were scattered all over the place, which caused incredible damage to Daishinkan's entire body. But the real damage was in the internal system. Since he had become numb, he wasn't able to release energy.
No, damn. If I'm not able to release energy, this wretch will end my life. I won't even be able to defend myself.
Don't worry, get well, because I want to end your life like that. You deserve to suffer much worse.
Daishinkan, despite being humiliated, would not be able to do anything, since this time he didn't possess the required power to confront him. While for his part, Whis together with Beerus, they asked him to end his life once and for all.
Goku, don't trust yourself, because Daishinkan, having millions of years alive, can have thousands of techniques. We better end his life once and for all.
Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. I'm sure this miserable worm won't be able to do anything against me, as I'm completely over it at the moment.
At the moment, Daishinkan's energy flow would return to normal, so when observing Goku without a guard, he would throw himself against him, using a large amount of destructive energy in his entire fist. However, to his surprise, Goku was able to stop his incredible blow with just one of his hands, which left him surprised, while all the terrain around him was completely destroyed by such incredible.
Is that all you have? Your power is absolutely nothing.
Goku, with a big blow on his face, was able to send him flying to a few mountains, while Goku at this moment was slowly starting to approach to where Daishinkan had fallen.
Kakarot's power completely overcomes him. Kakarot to be able to win the fight.
It's still very rash of us, since Daishinkan was one of the 5 most powerful warriors of the 12 universes, so we can't trust each other.
Whis, I understand it is your father, but really, it's better for Goku to end Daishinkan's life once and for all.
I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, as my father has been completely corrupted by negative energy, and the best thing is to end his life.
I can't believe that one of the most powerful warriors dies at the hands of a dirty and pathetic mortal.
When Daishinkan was about to accept the end of hidden force would be released, or rather, the last stimulus of his body, he would release every drop of energy, knowing that he was at the gates of death, which at this moment, the power he unleashed, even made Goku retreat a few meters, since he wasn't prepared for such an expulsion of energy. Wow, how did you still have a lot of hidden power?
If I'm gonna die, I don't plan to go to hell alone. Your damn son Goku will have to come with me. Because of you, my plans were destroyed.
Daishinkan had multiplied his power 100 times more, so his speed had also exploded in an incredible way. Instantly, he was able to grant the first effective blow to Goku, which would send him to a planet, destroying it completely.
Swords of hellish punishment.
Thousands of swords were heading towards Goku. However, when they collided with his body, they evaporated, which left Goku very surprised. But before he was able to say anything, Goku would spit out large amounts of blood while falling to the ground.
God damn it! What the hell is that technique? He hasn't been able to cause me any external damage. He was only able to destroy my internal organs.
Daishinkan would begin to approach where Goku was.
Backs of the infernal punishment. They don't cause any external damage, they only fulminate all the internal organs, as well as the energy system. But you, being the warrior with the greatest resistance that I know, you have to be able to survive and conserve your energy system.
Daishinkan would begin to give a beating to Goku, who on this occasion would be overwhelmed by all the blows. At the moment, Daishinkan, of a powerful attack, was able to send him flying to a planet, completely destroying everything around him.
Even I don't know where the power has emerged from, but I intend to end you once and for all. I don't intend to trust myself like you did your.
Daishinkan had directed his last blow towards Goku, but at the moment, a great energy was able to make him retreat. That's right, the divine energy of the great Zeno-sama had been completely assimilated, being able to have the ability to destroy everything like a king of everything. So, the instant that Daishinkan would grant his last blow, it was in vain. Since his arm was completely destroyed, a great cry of pain could be heard all over the place. However, despite Daishinkan using all his vital energy, he was able to manage to reconstruct his arm. That's right, on this occasion, the power of removing from a king altogether, he had completely overcome.
It's been the perfect time to master the power of a king completely. It surprises me, but right now I'm planning to finish you. I can realize that if I give you one more chance, this could be catastrophic.
Goku would grant a rain of blows to Daishinkan, who would try to defend himself, but it was completely impossible for him because this time, although the power was beginning to decrease in a great way, he only had one arm to defend himself, with which it was impossible for him to do anything against Goku. Daishinkan would fall to a planet, beginning to crawl like a worm all over the battlefield.
Look how you've fallen, Daishinkan! You're one of the most powerful warriors, who even possesses an incredible status, is now crawling like a worm more.
Damn it, apparently this is the end of me. None of my techniques are capable of ending it, and I don't have enough energy to create an explosion anymore.
Goku would stretch out one of his hands, with which he would expel a great pressure on Daishinkan's entire body, while in the same way an incredible sphere of energy began to channel through his palm.
Don't worry about going to hell. Because of this energy, I'll pulverize your existence. So I hope you're ready to disappear completely.
Daishinkan, before being able to say anything, the incredible attack would be thrown, which was able to disintegrate him completely. That's right, all the great power of Daishinkan was not able to cope with the incredible fusion of Goku and Zeno-sama. However, in the same way, the damage that Goku had received was of gravity. Because of that instant, Goku would begin to fall towards a planet. But before doing so, he was able to recover.
This is the price of using 100% of Zeno-sama's power. I'm sure I'll be unconscious for several years after this. So I have to do it right now.
Goku would expel much more power than even his body could withstand. Whis and Beerus tried to stop him, but they weren't able to destroy the incredible barrier that Goku had been able to place all over the place. Instantly, Goku, with all the power to eliminate a king at all, was able to reverse it. That's right, Goku was able to obtain the power of creation, being able to restore each of the innocent lives. Like every planet and star, after a few days, releasing all that incredible power, all 12 universes were able to get back to normal. So on this occasion, Goku would start descending at a great speed, but before he fell brutally, Vegeta was able to hold him.
Damn insect, that was dangerous. Even your barrier disappeared. Your energy is at critical levels. You'll have to rest for a few years.
This is how in all this time, there was no king at all, since in the body of the warrior Son Goku lay the essence of the powerful Zeno-sama. However, in all that time, every god and angel were able to have everything in order, until the new king of all, Goku, completely awakens.
In all this time, I plan to train much more, to be able to become a powerful being.
So in 4 years passed, in which the whole energy system of Goku could be completely restored, instantly to recover, all the warriors would make a big party to celebrate the new position of Goku as the king of the whole. I really thank each and every one of you, because without your help, it would have been impossible for me. And of course, I'll take charge of the 12 universes. But before that, you better have your receptive celebration, Mr. Goku. The day Goku, like all his friends, would have big banquets. So, the moment Goku and Vegeta finished eating, Vegeta would stare at him.
Kakarot, I've trained all this time, so I'm ready to test my new power with you.
That seems perfect to me. Attack me, Vegeta, and show me all your power.
And this is how the last battle of the most powerful Saiyans would begin. $70 million years ago, there was an unimaginable void without any life, when suddenly emerged a being which didn't know it was himself where he was.
What's going on? What am I? I can't see anything. What is this immense void?
What he didn't know was, until that moment, was that he was an omnipotent being who was going to create everything known as the universe. He would even create a whole multiverse full of different types of life in order to find at some point an individual who could match or surpass the strength of his son called Zeno-sama. In Zeno-sama's palace, 30 million years after the birth of Zeno-sama's father, he introduces himself to his son.
Zeno-sama, my son. You've grown strong and apparently you've become very powerful over the centuries.
Father, I've always felt that my existence has no purpose. I often get bored. Why did you bring me to life to be bored?
70 million years ago, there was a void from which I was created. As I grew, I developed powers and immeasurable strength. As a result of that, a need was born in me to find a being who could match or surpass your strength, to even equal my own greatness. That's why I created planets, galaxies, universes, and living beings of various species.
All this was created just so that I could exist?
Yes, my son. Every star, every life form, everything has a purpose. To prepare you to be the supreme god of all that I've created. You're the main reason for all my creation.
It's a heavy burden, Father. Why me?
Because in you, I see the true potential to rule in this vast cosmos. You are the hope to maintain harmony among the creations that have sprung from my being. You are the missing piece in this cosmic chest.
Father, all this that you tell me is an enormous responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do it. What if I fail?
There is no failure, son. Your very existence is success. Every moment in your life has molded you into the supreme being that you are. I trust you will fulfill your destiny.
What about you, Father? What role do you play in all this?
My role is to guide you from the shadows, to watch you fulfill your purpose. Finding balance in the universe is a task that requires your leadership. I'll be here, in the darkness, watching you carry out the mission I have given you.
I understand, Father. Leave everything in my hands.
Thus passed centuries, millennia, in which Zeno-sama was guided by his father to govern the immense multiverse he had created for him, but now convinced of the purpose he had in his life. In the present time, 30 million years after the conversation that Zeno-sama and his father had, in one of the universes created by Father Zeno, on a planet called Earth, Kakarot and Vegeta were training together with Whis and Beerus after having faced very powerful beings. While they were training, the Earth was illuminated by flashes of energy. As Kakarot and Vegeta embark on intense training, Whis and Beerus watch from a distance, assessing the Saiyans' every move as they prepare to rise in their skills. Hey, Vegeta! Remember when we first faced Frieza? That guy was incredibly strong.
Yes, Kakarot. That was our first encounter with an enemy of another level. But we cannot forget the Cell Bug, that creature with cells from all of us. He put us in big trouble with his martial arts tournament. Luckily, your son became strong.
Both Saiyans exchanged energy blasts. Each hit and dodge was an echo of their long history of battles.
Ah, yes! The first time you showed the teleportation technique. That was amazing! Thanks to Gohan, we were able to defeat him.
But then came Majin Buu. That battle was unforgettable. We had to merge to have a chance.
The fusion was great, but we also learned about redemption and kindness at that time. Boo became good because of you.
As they continue their training, the energy of both Saiyans light up the space. Whis and Beerus watch with interest.
Yes, but don't forget about Beerus. That god of destruction who almost wiped out the Earth with a single sneeze. Although in the end, he turned out to be more of a joker than we thought.
Yes, I remember when I tried to fight him in my Super Saiyan 3 form. I wasn't at his level, but at least I gave him a fight in my Super Saiyan God form, and that was possible thanks to all of you.
That's right. And now we're here, training with Whis and Beerus. We cannot let our guard down, Kakarot. There'll always be bigger challenges.
Exactly. Every fight makes us stronger. Let's keep training and bettering ourselves.
Of course. We're always one step closer to being the strongest warriors in the universe.
The training continues as Kakarot and Vegeta, under the tutelage of Whis and Beerus, strive to reach new levels of power in order to defend the Earth from new and more powerful enemies that may appear with the desire to destroy the planet that welcomed them. While Kakarot and Vegeta were training to overcome their limits, Whis and Beerus encouraged them to keep improving. Very good, Saiyans. Keep it up.
Yes, they're very strong, but I don't know if that'll be enough to keep my interest.
Suddenly, they feel a dark presence and the whole environment begins to become dark, and a dark, powerful presence fills the place.
What's going on, Mr. Whis? Something's not right. I feel an extremely powerful and dark presence.
That feeling sounds familiar. Who could it be?
The darkness intensifies, and suddenly an opposing figure appears in front of them like a shadowy nebula.
Inhabitants of the multiverse, have you missed me? Hello, dear inhabitants of the multiverse. I've come to observe progress of my creations.
What? Who is this guy?
I don't know, Kakarot, but his presence is overwhelming.
No way.
What?
The figure lingers in a shadowy haze, with the speaker being the father of Zeno-sama, the omnipotent being who created the multiverse. This one appears in all multiverse, where all the warriors were training for future problems.
This guy is the father of Zeno-sama, the creator of everything we know of universes beyond our imagination. I didn't think we'd ever see him.
Sir, your arrival is unexpected. Forgive the insolence, but to what do we owe you presents? The inclination of Whis and all the angels of different universes is because they have knowledge of who was the father of Zeno-sama. For that reason, they have a great fear and respect for him.
I see you've been busy, warriors. You have faced great obstacles throughout your insignificant lives, but this time has come. Are you strong enough?
We're always up for a good challenge.
Shut up, Kakarot. Don't you feel how powerful he is? How can you say that? Haven't you noticed something missing in the multiverse?
At that moment, Zeno-sama's father set out to tell them the reason for the ambiguous question. Moments before Zeno's father appeared before the whole multiverse, he was very angry because when he woke up from the dream of millions of years, he was surprised that many things had happened that went against the main reason why he created the whole universe. Because of this, he appears before his son Zeno-sama. In the center of the realm of everything, the overwhelming presence of Zeno-sama's father eclipses space. His voice booms like thunder as he directs his fury towards his son Zeno-sama. The latter, visibly nervous, tries to defend himself as the tension between the two intensifies.
Zeno-sama, you failed in your duty as Supreme God. All the warriors of the multiverse have overstepped their bounds and now dare to call themselves gods. Gods? This is unacceptable!
Father, I understand that this is all being misunderstood, but...
There's no excuses, Zeno-sama. Your lack of authority has allowed inferior beings to rise above us. How dare you let them usurp the title of gods?
I'm sorry, Father. I did not intend for things to come to this point.
The anger in Father Zeno's voice increases. His tone becomes more defiant and contemptuous.
Your intention? Your weakness has sullied the name of our divinity. The only god here is me, and no one else should dare to call himself that. No one!
Father, I understand that I'm in your debt, but we can find another way to restore order.
Father Zeno's response is an explosion of contempt and fury.
You do not deserve the title of God at all.
Your weakness has tainted my creation. Because of your incompetence, I must restore the balance, even if it means getting rid of you.
What? Father, please don't do it! There's so much I can still learn and improve! I can fix all of this!
Zeno-sama's imploration is lost in Father Zeno's cold determination. It is already too late, Zeno. Weakness must be eradicated from existence for true power to prevail. In an instant, Zeno-sama's father unleashes a blast of devastating energy that engulfs Zeno-sama and begins to tear him to shreds as he screams in pain.
No, Father, please! Ah!
Order has been restored. No one else will dare to challenge my supremacy. I will now take it upon myself to re-establish balance through my creation. In the present day, in front of the terrified warriors, due to what Zeno-sama's father had informed them what had happened to his son Zeno-sama, a being they all adored and feared. You insignificant beings now understand. Because of this, I will destroy all the timelines and universes that exist. I am a divine being, omnipotent, and I can do it. But I will give you a chance to fight for your lives. So I'll organize a tournament in which the strongest warriors of the entire multiverse will participate so the power will prevail. Earth 2024.
What?
This can't be true.
Do you think we can face something like that, Mr. Piccolo?
Oh? We'll have to train a lot physically and, above all, mentally. The idea of a tournament piques his interest, seeing the opportunity to test his own power and perhaps become even stronger. Thraxis Nocturne. Planet sunk in the shadows.
A tournament, eh? Well, I'll show that true power is not limited to divine beings.
I won't let them destroy our future. I will fight in that tournament and protect my own.
A tournament with the strongest warriors, huh? It'll be my chance to show that the Saiyans are not insignificant beings. We will see who is truly divine in this tournament. My empire will prevail.
A competition between the strongest. Interesting. I was showed that the Metacoolers are superior in all universes. Nigerian, a world with perpetually cloudy skies where storms of dark energy lash the surface.
Father, this tournament will be the perfect occasion to show you that my power surpasses yours. Perfect. I'll show my true power and wreak havoc in every corner of the multiverse. Destruction in a tournament. What a magnificent combination. I will be the ultimate warrior and subdue all under my rule. Let's fight. This tournament will be my stage to demonstrate the power I've obtained.
Dracoria, homeworld of the humanoid dragon warriors and the descendants.
The threat of destruction is overwhelming. My fire may not be enough to face its dark omnipotence.
A shadow that threatens to destroy everything. My ability to manipulate the darkness may not be enough. Even with my swordsmanship, facing an omnipotent divine being will be an unparalleled challenge. This divine being has the power to destroy everything I love. My fire will be my defense.
A divine threat. My control over thunderstorms will be enough. This will be a challenge like never before.
After seeing the various emotions and thoughts of the main participants of the tournament, Zeno-sama's father begins to explain the rules of this supposed tournament. Minimal beings. The rules are simple. The tournament will be to the death. It'll be held in a timeless space where the laws of time and physics are temporarily suspended. The only way to eliminate an opponent is to make his heart stop. It is by killing him. There's no other way. In this tournament, it is either you or your rival. There's no limits on the use of skills. You must unleash your full potential without restriction, so as not to be destroyed in the process. I'll be the one who will watch over the whole process. The participant who wins will have the joy of facing me, putting his life and the life of his universe at stake. But I'm a PS deity, and I will bring him the opportunity to have a divine power similar to mine for a determined time. If he does not take the advantage of it, he will have to accept the consequences. In spite of the uncertainty that the warriors have in front of what the father of Zeno-sama has said, some are excited and others are worried.
Wow, this sounds exciting! A tournament with fighters from all universes. It's gonna be great.
Why should we trust this tournament to be fair? By killing them?
So I can fight to the best of my ability. But killing beings that are just fighting for their lives is not nice.
I hope everything I've said has been clear to everyone. The only rule is that you have to kill your opponent so that they don't kill you. I want to make that clear. You will have to kill your opponent. The way we will check if you're worthy of calling yourselves gods.
Father Zeno disappears and everything returns to normal. You can see Kakarot's excited about the new enemy that is seen. It is very powerful. Vegeta, scared and worried about his family, angry with Kakarot.
Wow, that guy's incredibly strong. I'm excited to fight him in the next tournament.
Excited? Do you realize what's at stake, Kakarot? The enemy is dangerous, and we can't just underestimate him.
But Vegeta, that guy has awesome power. It's gonna be the best fight of our lives.
This is not a game, Kakarot. Do you realize that we're putting our families and the entire universe at risk?
I know it's serious, Vegeta, but it's also a chance to get better. Besides, Zeno-sama's father is excited about this.
I can't believe you're so carefree. My family's in danger and you're excited about a fight.
I'm not saying I'm not serious, Vegeta, but when an opportunity presents itself to measure our power, I can't resist.
You always think about the fight, don't you? Sometimes I wish you had a little more responsibility.
Vegeta, I understand that you're worried about Bulma and Trunks, but trust that we can protect them.
I don't like the idea of someone else deciding about our lives.
I understand, Vegeta, but do you really think we can ignore this opportunity?
I'm not going to lose my family over a fight, but I also know that I can't stop you from getting excited about the battle.
At that moment, the tension between Kakarot and Vegeta is palpable as they prepare to face the new enemy. While Kakarot is filled with excitement for the fight, Vegeta faces the situation with a mixture of fear and determination. Thus, the training of the entire multiverse for their survival of their species began. From the moment on, the most powerful warriors of all the universes began to train with greater intensity in order to save their universes and timelines. After having communicated with the entire multiverse from the realm of everything, the father of Zeno-sama would observe everything from a crystal screen, that the warriors were getting stronger and stronger. He sent his shadow warriors to slow down the process of them.
But what is this feeling that stirs my supreme being? A mixture of fascination and disdain. It's inevitable that mortals yearn for more, that they aspire to surpass their boundaries. Yet some of these warriors are reaching levels I cannot allow. Their power threatens the balance I've established. It's enough that they're mere participants in my tournament. They must be contained. They must be eliminated before their ascensions endanger the stability of my creation. My shadow warriors, creatures of the shadow and executioners of my will travel throughout all the universes. They'll be my instruments to stop these reckless advances. I will not allow the power of these warriors to grow beyond the limits set by my divinity.
Father Zeno, we're here to receive your orders.
Shadow creatures, my loyal enforcers, the time has come. The universes pulsate with an energy that threatens to destabilize the order I've established. Mortal warriors, in their relentless pursuit of power, are rising to dangerous heights. Their progress must be halted.
Your orders are our will. How do you wish us to proceed?
Each of you will disperse among the universes. Your mission is to find those warriors who dare to exceed the limits imposed. There's no room for compassion. The threat must be eradicated. Annihilate them without mercy.
We will, Father Zeno. No warrior would be strong enough to defy your will.
The shadow creatures set off to every universe and timeline to destroy every warrior who would participate. Along the way, they encountered weak warriors who they destroyed with these strong and very powerful ones. It was dusk when suddenly the Earth's atmosphere trembled with an unnatural darkness. In the blink of an eye, shadow creatures emerged from the interdimensional shadows, ethereal and menacing beings that would challenge even the strength of the mightiest warriors. Kakarot and Vegeta, training on the vast battlefield of Earth, sensed the arrival of an ominous presence. Shadow creatures, their ethereal forms and eyes burning with the intensity of darkness, materialized before them.
What are you? We are servants of Father Zeno. Your progress has been noted and must be halted.
The will of Father Zeno is the supreme law.
The warriors have exceeded the allowable limits and will now be destroyed.
The shadow creatures moved with an agility that defied logic, leaving behind them trails of darkness. Kakarot and Vegeta prepared for the confrontation, their energies flashing in response to the threatening presence.
Well, it looks like we have new opponents. This should be interesting.
No matter who sends them, we'll not allow them to stop our progress.
The shadow creatures, speechless, rushed towards Kakarot and Vegeta with flashing speed. The battle ahead would not only be a test of strength, but a struggle between light and darkness, between the determination of the warriors and the will of the father of Zeno-sama. The battle rages and the environment, plants, stones, and sky are witness to the incredible demonstration of power. Kakarot and Vegeta, deploying a great amount of ki, are in the center ready to face the two mysterious Shadow Warriors that attack them. Shadow Creature 1 moves at breakneck speed, leaving only flashes of darkness in its wake. Its form is ethereal, almost impossible to follow with the eye. It attacks with incredible precision, throwing punches and kicks that defy the perception of time. Shadow Creature 2 stands out for its devastating power. Its every strike sends out waves of dark energy that distort the surrounding space. Its presence emanates an ominous aura that shakes even the particles of space. The fight begins with Kakarot and Vegeta charging forward, but the Shadow Creatures respond with astonishing agility, dodging every blow and counterattacking with almost invisible movements. Faced with the speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta are forced to raise their power to Super Saiyan level.
Vegeta, these guys are incredibly fast. I can't even keep up with their moves.
Looks like our usual speed isn't enough. We'll have to raise our power to the maximum.
Both Saiyans concentrate, their golden auras bursting as they transform into Super Saiyan. Their golden hair lights up the space as they launch into a fierce offensive. But the Shadow Warriors remain equally agile, gracefully dodging the attacks. The intensity of the power illuminates the space.
Now, Vegeta, let's go all out.
Let's go, Kakarot.
The Saiyans rush towards these Shadow Warriors with a fierce offensive. However, the Shadow Creatures dodge their attacks with surprising grace, moving through the energy blast with ease.
Is that the best you can do, Saiyans?
Their speed is admirable, but they're still not up to par. Damn it! It can't go on like this, Kakarot. We need something else.
You're right, Vegeta. Let's take this to the next level.
Faced with persistent speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta rise their power even higher, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Their blue auras flash with intensity and the pressure of their power shakes the surrounding space. However, the Shadow Warriors are not daunted. The battle reaches its peak as the four warriors are engulfed in a frenzy of energy. Kakarot launches his attack called Kamehameha, and Vegeta launches his final flash attack, but the Shadow Warriors respond with counterattacks that defy the laws of physics. Then the clash of these powerful attacks causes an immense explosion. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the Shadow Creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the Shadow Creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from this smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin. Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this. Yes, Vegeta, this creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all. Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides. Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together and put an end to this! For once, Kakarot, I agree. The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyan's attacks with ease. Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense! Focus! I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast! The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination. We can't underestimate this thing! Come on, Vegeta! Let's attack together! Alright, Kakarot. Together we'll defeat it! Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late. Kame! Final Flash! The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyan's assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely. Vegeta, we're in trouble! This thing's stronger than we thought! Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing. Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta! The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes. Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince. Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground. Vegeta, we need a plan. The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy. Kakarot, do whatever it takes. The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge that blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds. Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting! At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince as he stood up, his eyes regaining determination. Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting. Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique? Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies. Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge! I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice. Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, and there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their more formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout the space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light. It's time to seal your fate.
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness. Prepare for the end.
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated Earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku!
Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight!
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Ha ha ha! Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight! We won't let them defeat us!
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly! Gohan, Broly, stay strong!
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys, let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all.
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it.
The battle intensified as the shadow creature in its enhanced form launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together! Come on, guys, we can't lose!
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the shadow creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the shadow creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the shadow creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The shadow creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the shadow creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the shadow creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The shadow creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyans' attacks. Broly, under the Dark Possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist!
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the shadow creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. "We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!" In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the shadow creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the shadow creature Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated. "It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!" At that moment, the shadow creature, taking advantage of the Saiyans' momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the shadow creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The shadow creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the shadow creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more, with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession. We can't let Broly fall into darkness.
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta. Broly's free.
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine, just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it! Where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature!
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The Shadow Creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the Shadow Creature from an unexpected angle. However, the Dark Entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The Shadow Creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, Shadow Creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the Shadow Creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The Shadow Creature, enjoying the chaos at its zone, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses, however the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the Shadow Creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the Shadow Creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the Shadow Creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The Shadow Creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The Dark Entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn Shadow. Don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The Shadow Creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure! I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan!
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the Shadow Creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The Shadow Creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the Shadow Creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the Shadow Creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the Shadow Creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The Dark Entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The Dark Creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the Dark Entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the Shadow Creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power, the Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile. enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life. So what's the plan, Piccolo? Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you.
I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach.
This is my chance to end this!
With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small shadow leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up. So the shadow creature set out to return to its master. After the terrifying moment that the Z warriors had experienced, Goku and Vegeta realized that Beerus and Whis were not on Earth. They had disappeared just moments before the shadow creatures appeared on Earth. This is because Daishinkan discovered that Zeno-sama had been killed by his father and immediately summoned all the angels and gods of destruction. In the majestic realm of all, Daishinkan, the High Priest, summoned all the angels and gods of destruction of the existing universes. The atmosphere in the hall was unusually tense, and concern was reflected in the faces of those present. Daishinkan, with his usual calmness, prepared to share the disturbing truth he had discovered.
Angels and gods of destruction, the time has come to face a powerful truth. Zeno-sama, our beloved king of all, has been slain.
Silence fell over the hall. The angels and the gods of destruction exchanged looks of disbelief and dismay. No one expected that such a tragedy could occur, especially at the hands of someone so powerful.
My investigation revealed that the one responsible for this abominable act was Zeno-sama's own father.
The news resounded like a somber echo in the room. Everyone present processed the shocking revelation. The omnipresent figure of Zeno-sama, the supreme deity, had been shattered by his own protagonist. Mohito, Sidra's angel, spoke in a worried voice. How is it possible that a being as powerful as Zeno-sama's father could have committed such an act?
That is a question for which I still have no answers. But now we must face the consequences of this event. The stability of the multiverse is in danger.
Arak, the god of destruction of Quitella, asked,
"And what measures will we take in the face of this threat? What'll happen to the throne of Zeno-sama?"
That is a question we must discuss and resolve. For now, the throne remains empty, and our duty is to maintain peace and balance. But before we make hasty decisions, we need to fully understand the magnitude of this situation.
Beerus and Whis prepared to inform the gods of destruction and angels of all universes about what they had witnessed while on planet Earth with Goku and Vegeta. The Hall of the Realm of Everything was filled with celestial beings, each one expectant and worried about the news they were about to receive.
Attention everyone! We have crucial information to share about the events that have been unfolded.
Before we are summoned here, the father of Zeno-sama appeared on all the planets of the multiverse. Surprise was reflected on the faces of those present. Murmurs and whispers filled the room, as the gods of destruction and angels exchanged looks of disbelief. His visit was not simply to report the death of Zeno-sama. He announced the holding of the tournament that would determine the survival of the planets in each universe. Additional rumors filled the room, creating a constant buzz of concern. The gods of destruction and angels wanted to understand the implications of such an announcement.
He informed the rules of the tournament and the intentions behind such a competition, but it's necessary that we all work together to get answers and face this threat. It is time to join forces and overcome this crisis. The fate of our universes is at stake.
As the gods and angels absorbed the gravity of the situation, in every corner of the Hall of the Realm of Everything, conversations and plans were brewing to confront the mysterious tournament that threatened to upset the balance of the multiverse. Uncertainty hung in the air, but the determination of the divine beings was determined to face the unknown that lay ahead. In the Hall of Everything, Daishinkan, the High Priest, sensed the imminent arrival of extremely powerful entities heading for the different planets of the multiverse. His face reflected seriousness as he prepared to inform all the angels and gods of destruction present of the coming threat.
Gods and angels of destruction, the time has come to face a new and challenging threat. Entities of great power are headed towards the planets of our universes, and their goal seems to be a direct confrontation with the strongest warriors of each world.
The expressions of those present became serious. Aware of the gravity of the situation, Daishinkan continued with determination.
It's crucial that we move quickly to protect the strongest warriors of each planet, regardless of which universe they belong to. The threat we face does not respect universal boundaries, and we must act with unity to preserve the balance.
Vados, the Angel of Champa, raised his hand.
How do you plan for us to move, Daishinkan? We each have responsibilities in our universes.
I understand the complexity of this situation, but the magnitude of this threat requires immediate action. I suggest that every angel and god of destruction move to the planets threatened by this unknown force. We must prevent the strongest warriors from being defeated before we can fully understand our enemies.
Sounds like a sensible plan, Daishinkan. If we all work together, we can protect our warriors and gain more information about these powerful entities. Each angel and god of destruction nodded in agreement, accepting the need to act immediately. They moved quickly to the various planets, casting aside universal barriers in a joint effort to safeguard the multiverse.
May the wisdom and power of each of you guide this effort. Let us not underestimate this new threat. Our duty is to protect the existence of our universes.
With those words, the angels and gods of destruction dispersed, leaving the Hall of All in preparation to face a challenge that transcended universal boundaries and demanded the collaboration of all divine beings. Uncertainty hung in the air, but determination to preserve the balance of the multiverse guided the powerful beings in their joint mission. The angels and gods of destruction quickly teleported to the threatened planets, each determined to protect the strongest warriors on the various planets. In the blink of an eye, the skies lit up with flashes of divine energy as Awamo and Ewin, Cognac and Quitella, Matanu and Geen, Wissambiris, and the other angels and gods of destruction headed toward their assigned destinations. The planet Thraxis Nocturnae lay peaceful in the corner of the cosmos, its nocturnal luminosity radiating a tranquility that was about to be disturbed. In the vast space, Awamo the angel, with his small book in hand, and his god of destruction Ewin, an imposing figure with a stern gaze, detected the arrival of a shadow creature, a minion of Zeno-sama's father. The creature, shrouded in malevolent darkness, descended with malevolent determination towards Thraxis Nocturnae. Ewin, without hesitation, deployed his energy of destruction while Awano stood by, hoping to resolve the conflict without a bath of chaos.
Creature, your darkness will not be tolerated in this realm. Stop your destructive plans.
The shadow creature emanated a guttural growl, its presence emanating an unnatural energy that distorted the space around it. The space battle began with an explosion of opposing forces. Ewin launched destructive beams, while Awamo used his speed to dodge the attacks and assess the situation.
Ewin, this creature's stronger than we imagined. We must be cautious.
I know, Awamo, but we can't let him destroy Thraxis Nocturnae. We must give our best.
The shadow creature, agile and evasive, responded to the attacks with dark energy waves that distorted space. The battle spread across the firmament, leaving traces of destructive energy in its wake. Ewin tried to anticipate the creature's movements. However, the shadow creature proved to be agile and adaptive, countering every strategy with an unmatched dark force.
Our conventional methods don't work. Ewin, we need to combine our forces.
I agree, Awamo. It's time to show them the true power of destruction.
Awamo and Ewin merged their energies, creating a flash of light that defied the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, perceiving the threat, intensified its own energy, generating a collision of cosmic forces that shook space itself. The battle reached a fever pitch, with cosmic explosions lighting up the scene as Awamo and Ewin struggled to contain the darkness. The struggle took place not only on the physical plane, but also on the spiritual one, where the will to protect Thraxis Nocturnae was pitted against the ruthless ambition of the shadow creature. The fusion of Awamo and Ewin unleashed a dazzling energy that eclipsed even the nocturnal luminosity of Thraxis Nocturnae. The gold and violet glow enveloped the divine couple as they prepared to face the dark threat looming over the peaceful planet.
It's time to show the true extent of our power, Awamo.
The shadow creature, aware of the growing threat, rushed towards them with supernatural speed. Awamo, with his keen perception, anticipated every movement of the creature, allowing the couple to dodge its onslaughts with heavenly elegance.
Keep calm, Ewin. We must synchronize our movements to counteract their darkness.
Ewin nodded and unleashed a series of destructive energy blasts that lit up the space around him. However, the shadow creature responded with amazing agility, dodging every attack with meandering movements. The battle became a cosmic game of strategy and speed. The angel Awamo and the god of destruction Ewin soon realized that in order to defeat this entity, they would need a coordinated attack that transcended the limits of their individual abilities. In a moment of perfect timing, they unleashed a gale of combined energy. Awamo channeled the energy of destruction while Ewin released violet flashes of destruction.
Focus your energy, Awamo. Let's get rid of this darkness once and for all.
Awamo nodded and joined the attack with determination. The fused energy of both angel and god turned into a spear of golden and violet light that pierced through space with an impressive speed. The shadow creature, caught in the torrent of power, let out a heart-rending howl as it was enveloped by the luminosity. The impact was abysmal, generating an expansive wave that shook the cosmos. The darkness that enveloped the creature began to dissipate, revealing its twisted and weakened form. Owamo and Ewin, exhausted but triumphant, stood on guard ready for any eventuality.
We have managed to contain their darkness, but we can't let our guard down.
The shadow creature, now visibly weakened, recoiled before the imposing presence of Owamo and Ewin. The light had prevailed over the darkness in the cosmic corner of Thraxis Nocturne. The divine couple remained firm in their duty to protect the planet that this creature wanted to destroy. However, the battle was not yet over, and the fates of the planets remained uncertain in the vastness of space. After the shocked combined attack of Owamo and Ewin, the space around Thraxis Nocturne was vibrating with the residual energy of the cosmic battle. The shadow creature, apparently weakened, remained suspended in the cosmic void, enveloped in a dark glow that seemed to absorb the surrounding light. The divine couple watched cautiously, aware that the fate of Thraxis Nocturne was still hung in the cosmic balance.
Ewin, something's not right. The darkness of that creature seems to be getting stronger instead of weaker. It seems that our attack has absorbed by her, but it shouldn't be possible. How can he transform our energy of destruction to his own power?
The shadow creature, now surrounded by a more intense aura, began to change its shape. Its twisted figure became more defined. His eyes shone with a malevolent lucidity. The darkness emanating from her was becoming denser, distorting the space around her.
You have underestimated my true potential, angel and god of destruction. Your energy has strengthened me beyond your comprehension.
The divine couple prepared for what was to come next, aware that the threat they faced had evolved. The shadow creature, now empowered by the absorbed energy, charged towards them with renewed speed and ferocity.
We need to be more cautious, Ewin. It seems that every blow we inflict makes her stronger. Understood, Owamo, but we can't allow this darkness to devour Thraxis Nocturne.
The battle resumed with increased intensity. The shadow creature attacked with bursts of dark energy that cut through space, while Owamo and Ewin responded with flashes of golden and violet light. The cosmic dance of lights and shadows painted an epic picture in the vastness of the universe. Each blow and backlash echoed like thunder in space, distorting reality itself. Owamo, with his keen perception, tried to anticipate the movements of the dark creature, but the dark entity proved to be unpredictable. Ewin, with his energy of destruction, sought to weaken the creature, but his attacks seemed to be absorbed and turned into an additional source of power.
Every time we hit her, her power increases. We can't go on like this. We must find a way to counteract his ability to absorb our energy. Do you have any ideas, Owamo?
Owamo pondered for a moment, his angelic mind working in search of a solution. Meanwhile, the shadow creature, aware of its opponent's confusion, took the opportunity to launch a surprise attack. A wave of dark energy enveloped Owamo and Ewin, distorting their perception and weakening their defenses.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. I am the embodiment of darkness. His light cannot prevail before me.
The situation was becoming more and more desperate for the divine couple as they struggled to resist the shadow creature's attacks. Owamo turned his attention to the small book he always carried with him. An idea began to form in his mind.
Ewin, I think I have an idea, but we need to synchronize our attacks in a different way. Explain yourself, Owamo.
Owamo explained his plan to Ewin, who nodded in understanding. Both God and Angel prepared to put their strategy into practice. The shadow creature, confident in its superiority, launched into the attack again, but this time Owamo and Ewin were ready to respond differently.
Now, Ewin, combine your energy of destruction with mine in a more controlled way.
Ewin nodded and channeled his energy to Owamo, who, in turn, merged it with his. Instead of launching a direct attack, they created a sphere of combined light and energy that floated between them.
Do you think this tactic will change the outcome? We'll see.
The energy sphere began to slowly expand, emanating a glowing light that contrasted the surrounding darkness. The shadow creature, curious but confident, watched the development with disdain.
The fused power is not only destructive, but it also has properties that counteract its absorption capacity.
The combined energy sphere, now reaching its maximum expansion, released a wave of light and energy that enveloped the shadow creature. This time, instead of absorbing the power, the darkness that characterized her began to dissipate.
What is this? My power should not be weakened. We create an energy that goes beyond destruction and creation, one that neutralizes the darkness that you're trying to absorb.
The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Iwin's strategic counterattack, retreated as the combined energy sphere continued to exert its effect. The light emanating from the sphere began to purify the darkness surrounding the entity, revealing its original form before corruption.
It seems our tactic's working, but we must make sure we contain it completely. We can't let our guard down. Let's continue with the strategy until the creature's completely neutralized.
The space battle continued, but this time Awamo and Iwin had the upper hand. His sphere of combined energy continued to exert its purifying effect, dispelling the darkness that threatened Thraxus Nocturne. With each passing moment, the shadow creature grew weaker. The light of hope began to shine in the corner of the cosmos that was once on the verge of destruction. The shadow creature, weakened by Awamo and Iwin's strategy, retreated into space, its distorted form twisting as the combined energy sphere continued to purify the darkness that enveloped it. In a desperate attempt to regain its strength, the shadow creature began to explore its surroundings, looking for an opportunity to turn the situation in his favor.
My power is weakened here. I need to find a place where darkness prevails.
While exploring, the shadow creature noticed something that favored him. His eyes flashed with malevolent anticipation as he discovered that this world was called Thraxus Nocturne because it was a planet plunged into shadows. The dark entity smiled malevolently as he realized that this planet could provide the darkness needed to revitalize his power.
Ha 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 ha! Thraxus Nocturne, a feast of darkness awaits me!
With amazing speed, the shadow creature launched itself towards the planet, traversing space with great speed. Awamo and Iwin, aware of his intentions, followed closely, determined to stop any attempt by the shadow creature to plunge into the darkness of the planet. As the creature approached Thraxus Nocturne, the darkness of the planet seemed to intensify, as if responding to its presence. The planet's nighttime atmosphere shone with a faint luminosity, offering a fascinating contrast to the surrounding stars.
Iwin, we must prevent the creature from being filled with dark power. If she succeeds, it'll be even more difficult to stop her. Understood, Awamo. We'll not allow the darkness of this planet to fall into the hands of that entity.
The shadow creature descended on Thraxus Nocturne with a terrifying impetus. As she approached, the darkness seemed to take her in, enveloping her with a gloomy welcome. The shadow creature began to absorb the darkness of the planet, its twisted form vibrating with a new energy as it filled with the essence of Thraxus Nocturne.
Ha 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 ha! Yes, this darkness will strengthen me. Nothing can stop me now.
Awamo and Iwin, wasting no time, headed towards the shadow creature, determined to stop its advance before it became unstoppable. The battle in the shadows of Thraxus Nocturne was about to take a very drastic turn.
We cannot allow this darkness to completely corrupt this creature. We must stop her before she becomes invincible. Your previous strategy was effective, Awamo. Let's keep working together to counter his power.
Deep in the shadows of Thraxus Nocturne, the intense presence of the absorbing shadow creature did not go unnoticed by the most powerful warriors on the planet. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and his brother Cooler felt the darkness increasing around them and, with a mixture of amazement and concern, headed toward the epicenter of the threat.
Something's not right. The darkness in this place is getting denser.
Whatever it is, we cannot let it threaten Thraxus Nocturne. Let's investigate.
The warriors moved nimbly across the gloomy terrain, advancing towards the source of the darkness. As they got closer, the atmosphere became heavier, as if the shadow itself wanted to resist their advance.
The darkness is different. I feel a strange pressure. I'm not afraid of the dark, but this is unusual. Cooler, stay alert.
Understood, Frieza. Let's find out what's going on.
Suddenly, a wave of dark energy erupted before them, revealing the shadow creature that was absorbing the darkness of the planet. His twisted figure and malevolent aura were as evident as the threat he posed to Thraxus Nocturne.
Warriors of this planet, his darkness feeds me. Soon I will be unstoppable.
We won't let you destroy Thraxus Nocturne. Get ready, creature.
The warriors went on the attack, each unleashing their unique power against the dark entity. Turles unleashed his evil aura, releasing bursts of destructive energy. Bardock channeled his Saiyan fury into powerful blows, while Raditz and Cooler coordinated their attacks to create a symphony of destruction. Frieza intensifying the struggle.
This creature doesn't know who he's up against.
Your resistance is useless. Each blow only increases my power.
The shadow creature, powered by the darkness of Thraxus Nocturne, absorbed attacks with defiant ease. Each impact seemed to strengthen rather than weaken it, plunging the warriors into the disturbing reality that they were facing an enemy that fed on its own darkness.
It's not working. He's getting stronger and stronger.
We need to change our strategy. We can't let it absorb all the darkness on the planet.
While the warriors struggled to find an effective strategy, the shadow creature, with its distorted laughter, continued to absorb the darkness, becoming more and more powerful. The Battle of Thraxus Nocturne's survival was at its most critical, and the warriors knew that they had to find a solution before the dark entity became invincible. The dark aura released by the shadow creature enveloped the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne, gradually weakening them. The warriors struggled to stay on their feet as the entity's malevolent energy infiltrated their bodies, obscuring their vital forces.
This is it. Too much.
I can't let that defeat us like this.
The warriors, despite their bravery, were overcome by the darkness emanating from the aura of the shadow creature. At that critical moment, when hope seemed to be fading, a heavenly light pierced the shadows. Owamo and Ewin, the angels charged with protecting Thraxus Nocturne, arrived on the battlefield.
The darkness emanating from this creature is breathtaking. We cannot allow it to take over this planet. Time to show these warriors how to fight true darkness.
The angel spread his wings, and together with the god of destruction, they advanced towards the shadow creature, his presence radiating a luminosity that defied the malevolent nature of the dark aura. As it approached, the dark entities sensed the arrival of divine beings and turned to face the new threat.
Ha 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 ha! More insignificant beings. His light will be devoured by my darkness. Don't underestimate the power of light. Darkness cannot resist the true essence of creation.
Owamo extended his hand, and a purifying light enveloped the battlefield, counteracting the dark effect of the creature's aura. Ewin, on the other hand, deployed the energy of destruction, creating a perfect balance between light and darkness. The shadow creature, for the first time, felt the pressure of forces that it could not easily absorb or resist. The conflict took a turn, and the battle became more intense as the angel and god of destruction faced the dark entity with a unique combination of light and destruction.
The real struggle starts now. We'll protect Thraxus Nocturne from the darkness you represent.
The fight between the angels and the shadow creature reached impressive levels, with bursts of energy illuminating the dark planet of Thraxus Nocturne. Meanwhile, the warriors, freed from the debilitating effects of the dark aura, watched the fight, hoping that their planet would not be destroyed. In the dark skies of Thraxus Nocturne, the stage was transformed into a cosmic battlefield, where divine light and malevolent darkness collided in an epic confrontation. Owamo and Ewin, the guardians of this planet, displayed their celestial power with a grace and precision that defied description. The glow of the purifying light emanating from Ewin and Owamo spread across the space, illuminating the shadows that the shadow creature was trying to grasp. Ewin and Owamo's every move was a ballet of divine energy, as they gracefully dodged the dark attacks encountered with unstoppable force. Owamo's wings shone with a resplendent light, like stars in the night, as he invoked the very essence of creation to repel the dark forces rising up against him. By his side, Ewin radiated an imposing presence, with his penetrating gaze fixed on the creature as it defying the darkness itself. The shadow creature, on the other hand, was fighting with an impressive ferocity, trying to resist the overwhelming power of Ewin and Iwamo. Their dark attacks were launched like ravenous shadows, seeking to consume the divine light that surrounded them. However, every attack was countered by the impenetrable force of Ewin and Iwamo, who remained firm in their purpose to protect the planet. The clash between light and darkness created a symphony of cosmic energy, with flashes of light and bursts of energy illuminating the firmament. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Your power is formidable, but it cannot resist the purity of creation.
You can't stop me. I'm the very embodiment of darkness.
Darkness can be powerful, but the real strength lies in balance, and we represent that balance. Ewin and Iwamo continued to deploy their energy with amazing precision, creating light barriers that repelled the attacks of the shadow creature. Every movement of Ewin and Iwamo was imbued with a divine elegance and grace, while the creature struggled with a desperate ferocity. Our mission is to protect the harmony of the universe, and that includes protecting this planet from your darkness.
You can't stop me. I'm inevitable.
The shadow creature launched waves of dark energy, but Ewin and Iwamo easily repelled them, maintaining an opposing presence in the midst of battle. Every blow of Ewin and Iwamo resonated with the force of creation, while the creature struggled more and more desperately. The darkness can be a challenge, but our determination's unwavering. We'll not let you destroy this planet. Your power may be formidable, but it cannot equal the eternal light of the universe. The battle continued with Ewin and Iwamo and the shadow creature facing off in an epic clash between light and dark. In the midst of the struggle, Father Zeno silently watched from his kingdom, perceived the magnitude of the conflict. With an imperceptible gesture, he decided to intervene, taking Ewin and Iwamo to a mental plane where they could confront the shadow creature in a terrain beyond the physical. In a flash of dazzling light, Iwamo and Ewin were transported to an ethereal realm, where the laws of the universe twisted and blurred. Where are we, Ewin? We have entered the realm of the mind, a place where reality is molded according to the will of the observer. Here the real battle be fought in the deepest corners of our being. While Iwamo and Ewin were transported to a mental plane by Father Zeno, the shadow creature continued its fierce assault against the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne. Turles, Bardock, Raditz, Frieza, and Cooler, the most powerful warriors on the planet, rose up against the darkness that threatened to consume their home. The shadow creature, imbued with a dark and malevolent aura, hovered over them with an overwhelming presence. He distorted his energy, enveloping everything around him, tearing reality itself apart, and threatening to plunge the planet into an abyss of chaos.
We won't let you destroy our home, shadow monster.
We, the warriors of Thraxis Nocturne, are not afraid of the dark.
We have faced much greater dangers than you, creature.
We will fight together to protect our world.
The shadow creature launched a powerful dark attack towards the warriors, but they responded with relentless ferocity. Turles, his eyes shining with determination, unleashed a shower of destructive energy, summoning the very essence of nature to channel it in a torrent of energetic attacks. Their powerful attacks cut through the darkness with devastating precision, creating dazzling explosions that lit up the planet's night sky. Bardock, with his fiery ki and indomitable spirit, channeled his energy into a powerful attack. His fists were burning with a searing intensity as he launched a concentrated burst of energy towards the shadow creature, challenging its strength with its own. Bardock's attack resonated with the determination of an invincible warrior, willing to give everything for the protection of his world. Raditz and Cooler, united in battle, joined in a coordinated assault on the shadow creature. With fluid and coordinated movements, they launched bursts of energy from different angles, creating a barrier of attacks that surrounded their enemy. The shadow creature struggled to defend itself against the combined onslaught of the two powerful warriors, but its resistance was challenged by the determination and skill of Raditz and Cooler. Meanwhile, Frieza, with his golden form glowing with a golden aura, was preparing to unleash his full power against the shadow creature. His eyes shone with a cold and calculated determination as he focused his energy on a devastating attack. With a graceful and precise movement, Frieza unleashed a burst of golden energy that swirled with unparalleled destructive power, threatening to envelop the shadow creature in a mantle of fire and destruction. The battle escalated as the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne bravely faced the darkness that threatened their world. Every blow, every burst of energy echoed through space, creating a spectacle of destruction and determination. Meanwhile, on the mental plane, Iwamo and Ewin were engaged in a metaphysical struggle against Father Zeno, an omnipotent entity whose presence radiated an aura of indescribable power. Ewin and Iwamo, aware of the gravity of the situation, desperately sought the intervention of Father Zeno to counter the threat of the shadow creature. However, to their surprise, Father Zeno solemnly informed them that they could not intervene directly, since the balance of the universe had to be kept intact even in times of crisis. Iwamo and Ewin, although unhappy with Father Zeno's decision, understood the importance of respecting the laws of the cosmos. With determination, they plunged even deeper into the metaphysical struggle, using all their ingenuity and power to find a solution to the crisis unfolding in Thraxus Nocturne. As a confrontation on the mental plane reached its climax, Iwamo and Ewin found themselves face to face with the imposing Father Zeno. His figure radiated an indisputable authority, but also an aura of mystery that aroused restlessness in the Ewin and Iwamo. Iwamo, with his usual serenity, broke the tense silence that filled the ethereal space. "Father Zeno," he began in a firm but respectful tone, "could it be you that... were you the one who sent the shadow creatures to destroy the planets?" Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, nodded slowly. "I did it for the good of the universe," he replied calmly. Although his voice resonated with a power that shook Ewin and Iwamo, sometimes drastic measures must be taken to preserve the cosmic balance. Ewin, with a flash of indignation in his eyes, could not contain himself anymore. "But that doesn't justify the chaos and destruction you've unleashed," he exclaimed, his voice echoing with unshakable determination. "There are other ways to restore balance without resorting to violence and darkness." Father Zeno observed the god of destruction and his angel with a penetrating gaze, as if he were evaluating their words and their posture. "Your compassion is admirable, but sometimes it's necessary to sacrifice a few pieces to save the entire board," he said in an enigmatic tone. Iwamo and Ewin exchanged determined glances. Although they respected Father Zeno's authority, they knew that they had to follow their own principles and convictions. With courage, they prepared to challenge the omnipotent being in front of them, willing to fight for what they believed was right, even if it meant facing the divinity itself. The air on the mental plane was charged with tension, as Iwamo and Ewin prepared to face Father Zeno. Their divine auras collided in a show of titanic forces, as Ewin and Iwamo prepared to challenge the supreme being in front of them. Iwamo, with his heavenly book in hand, looked at Father Zeno with determination. "Father Zeno, although we respect your authority, we cannot allow you to continue with this destruction," he stated firmly. "We'll fight for peace and balance in the universe, even if it means standing up to you." Father Zeno, with an impenetrable calm, nodded in recognition. "Your courage is admirable, but you will not be able to stop me," he replied calmly. "The fate of the universe is in my hands, and I'll do whatever it takes to preserve its balance." Without further words, the battle began with a burst of divine energy. Iwamo unleashed his celestial power, summoning rays of light that he threw against Father Zeno, while Ewin threw waves of energy with determination. However, Father Zeno showed impressive resilience, deflecting every attack with surprising ease. The fight went on for what seemed like an eternity, with Ewin and Iwamo and Father Zeno trading punches and counterpunches in a cosmic dance of power and skill. Every movement was imbued with a supernatural force, while the mental plane trembled under the intensity of his conflict. However, as time passed, Iwamo and Ewin began to feel the weight of their opponent. Father Zeno's power was overwhelming, and every blow Ewin and Iwamo received weakened them even more. Despite their bravery and determination, it seemed that they were fighting against an impossible-to-defeat force. Iwamo, panting from the effort, looked at his companion with concern. "Ewin, we can't go on like this," he admitted sincerely. "Father Zeno's too powerful for us." Ewin, though exhausted, nodded determinedly. "I know, Iwamo, but we can't give up," he replied firmly. "We must keep fighting, for Thraxus Nocturne, and for all beings in the universe." With a final effort, Ewin and Iwamo gathered their forces to launch a final attack against Father Zeno. However, the Supreme Being easily overcame them, deflecting his power with a contemptuous gesture. Father Zeno looked at Iwin and Iwamo with a mixture of admiration and regret.
They're brave, but their struggle has come to an end, he solemnly declared. Accept your defeat and let fate take its course.
With a resigned sigh, Iwamo and Iwin surrendered to Father Zeno's overwhelming strength. Although they had fought with all their heart and soul, they knew that they could not defeat the Supreme Being in front of them. Father Zeno, with a compassionate look, looked at them benevolently.
Rest now, my brave creations, he said gently. His bravery will be remembered throughout the universe.
Father Zeno, with an unflappable expression, extended his hand towards the exhausted Iwin and Iwamo. In an instant, a powerful burst of cosmic energy emanated from his palm, enveloping Iwamo and Iwin in a dazzling radiance. Iwin and Iwamo screamed in agony as Father Zeno's energy enveloped them, feeling every fiber of their being torn apart under the relentless power of the Supreme Being. Their bodies, imbued with divine light, were slowly consumed in the maelstrom of energy, fading little by little into the aether of the cosmos. Iwamo and Iwin fought with all their might to resist the cataclysm that engulfed them, but it was useless. The power of Father Zeno surpassed them in every respect, and they were soon reduced to mere shadows of their former glory. With the last gasp, Iwamo and Iwin exploded, leaving body parts all over the mental space, dissipating into cosmic nothingness while their essence merged with the universe. At that precise moment, we return to the earthly plane, where the fierce battle between the most powerful warriors of Thraxus Nocturne and the shadow creature was reaching its climax. Bursts of energy and thunderous crashes echoed in the air, while Bardock, in the middle of the combat, glimpsed Iwamo and Iwin, who were lying unconscious on the ground, enveloped in a halo of divine light. Surprise and dismay were reflected on the faces of the warriors, who momentarily stopped their frantic struggle upon realizing the situation. Bardock, his eyes wide open, watched in horror as Iwin and Iwamo's bodies began to shake, emanating flashes of energy that increased in intensity with each passing second. A tense silence enveloped the battlefield as everyone watched the scene in disbelief. Suddenly, a heart-rending explosion echoed in the air, making the earth and sky tremble. Bardock and the other warriors were thrown back by the force of the explosion, protecting themselves as best as they could from the shockwave that was spreading around them. When the afterglow of the explosion faded, what was left was a smoking crater where Iwamo and Iwin once stood. The warriors slowly stood up, stunned by what they had just witnessed, as the shadow creature, now shrouded in an even denser darkness, prepared to lash out again before the protecting warriors of Thraxus Nocturne. Bardock clenched his fist determinedly, feeling a mixture of sadness and fury burn inside him. He knew that they must continue the fight, not only for the honor of their planet, but also in memory of their brave fallen guardians. With a war cry, the warriors rushed into combat again, determined to avenge the loss of their comrades and protect their home from the darkness that threatened to consume it. After the devastating explosion that killed Iwamo and Iwin, the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne gathered in a circle, still stunned by what had happened. Bardock, with a gloomy look, broke the silence with a grave tone.
Damn it! What the hell just happened?
Turles, frowning, shook his head in disbelief.
I don't know, but we can't let this sacrifice be in vain. We need to get this thing over with once and for all.
Raditz, with his fist clenched, furiously nodded determinedly.
You're right! Iwamo and Iwin gave their lives to protect this planet. We cannot disappoint his sacrifice.
Frieza, with his usual impassive expression, spoke in a cold and calculated tone.
The death of Iwin and Iwamo should not be in vain. We must unite and concentrate our efforts on defeating that shadow creature.
Cooler, with a serious look, added determinedly,
We are facing an unprecedented threat, but if we fight together, we can overcome it. Let's do it for the honor of Thraxus Nocturne, for the legacy of our brave comrades.
Bardock nodded solemnly, his jaw tense with determination.
So, are we in agreement? We'll fight together until the end and avenge our fallen.
The warriors nodded in agreement, sharing a look of determination and unity. With their hearts filled with determination, they prepared to face once again the darkness that threatened their home. As the warriors prepared to face the shadow creature again, a fierce determination burned in their hearts. Turles, feeling the energy of the battle, was the first to unleash his power.
It's time to show them our true power!
With a powerful scream, Turles wrapped himself in an aura of energy. Her dark hair turned golden and her eyes shone with a dazzling intensity. The energy of the Super Saiyan emanated from his being, infusing strength and determination into his entire being. Raditz, inspired by Turles' example, followed suit.
It's my turn!
With a burst of energy, Raditz's dark hair bristled, turning golden just like his brother's. His ki increased dramatically, emanating a commanding presence that filled the battlefield. Seeing the transformation of his comrades, Bardock also joined the fray.
I can't stay behind!
With a battle cry, Bardock unleashed all his power. His fiery aura enveloped him in a higher golden glow. His energy increased to astronomical levels, propelling him towards a higher form of his race. Frieza, observing the transformation of the Saiyans, did not want to be left behind.
The time has come to show my true strength!
With a burst of energy, Frieza transformed into his golden form of maximum power similar to 100% full power. His body radiating a golden glow. His power multiplied several times, turning him into an unstoppable force that rivaled the sunlight itself. Cooler, feeling the energy surrounding him, decided to join the fight with all his might.
It's time to unleash my true potential!
With a flash of energy, Cooler transformed into his metallic form, his body glowing with a metallic luster. His stamina and power increased exponentially, making him an invincible force that would defy even the gods. With their transformations complete, the warriors of Thraxus Nocturne once again faced the shadow creature with renewed determination and a power that eclipsed any darkness. In the skies of Thraxus Nocturne, the battle continued as the transformed warriors faced off against the shadow creature, a being whose dark power threatened to devour everything in its path. With each of the warriors unleashing their full potential, the cosmos trembled under the force of their epic showdown. The golden aura of Turles, Raditz, and Bardock, combined with the imposing presence of Frieza and Cooler in their transformed forms, formed a dazzling spectacle in the night sky. Energy flickered around them, lighting up the darkness with golden and silver flashes as they prepared for the final showdown. The shadow creature, sensing his power of his adversaries, emanated a rumbling roar that echoed through the planet. His dark form seemed to twist and distort as he prepared for the final assault.
It's time to end this once and for all!
With a battle cry, Turles lunged forward. His speed increased by his Super Saiyan form. The shadow creature responded with an onslaught of dark energy, but Turles nimbly dodged it, moving with astonishing speed across the battlefield. Raditz and Bardock followed Turles' lead, attacking with relentless ferocity. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature's attacks were swift and fierce, but the Saiyans deftly dodged them, responding with even more powerful blows.
Father, let's keep the pressure on this thing! We can't let it destroy our home!
I know. We're not going to allow this monster to destroy Thraxus Nocturne. Our power is more than enough to end it.
That's right! You taught us to fight with courage and determination! We'll not back down before this creature is destroyed!
Take this!
The shadow creature dodged Bardock's attack with agility, launching its counterattack with its sharp claws.
Careful, Father!
Don't worry about me. I'm more than ready for this.
And take this too!
Raditz's attacks hit the shadow creature hard, but it quickly recovered and counterattacked with a surge of dark energy.
Damn, this thing's tougher than I thought.
We can't give up now! Our planet depends on us!
You're right. Let's show you what we're capable of.
The two Saiyans launched into the air attack once more with renewed determination. Their blows echoed in the air, each one charged with the strength of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. The shadow creature, although resistant, was overcome by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Turles, with his golden hair flowing behind him, launched a quick series of precise punches, each one carrying with it the power of his transformation into Super Saiyan. His movements were fluid and graceful, as if he were dancing around his enemy, dodging every attack with impressive agility.
There's no escape for you, monster! Your darkness can't compete with the power of the Super Saiyan!
With a battle cry, Turles lashed out at the shadow creature, striking with overwhelming force. Every blow resounded in the air, shaking the battlefield with its power. The shadow creature was fighting desperately, but its attack seemed weak compared to Turles' ferocity. Meanwhile, Raditz and Bardock were continuing their assault on the shadow creature. Their attacks were coordinated and precise, each complementing the other in a deadly dance of destruction. The shadow creature found itself increasingly cornered, unable to cope with the combined might of the Saiyans.
Come on, Father. We know we can stop this thing. I know, Raditz. Let's keep pushing until there's nothing left of this creature.
With renewed determination, the two Saiyans redoubled their efforts, launching a series of devastating attacks against the shadow creature. Each blow echoed in the air, carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home planet. Frieza and Cooler were watching the battle intently from a distance, their cold gazes evaluating every move of the Saiyans and the shadow creature. As the fight intensified, they noticed with increasing concern how the shadow creature began to gain more strength, releasing a dark energy that threatened to destabilize this situation.
It seems that the things are getting more complicated than I expected.
Yes, the shadow creature seems to be gaining ground. If we don't intervene soon, we could face an even more dangerous situation.
With a cold determination, Frieza and Cooler exchanged a glance before heading towards the battlefield. His presence made itself felt immediately. His overbearing aura flooded the area as they prepared to face the shadow creature.
Looks like we need to intervene before things get out of control.
I agree. We cannot allow the shadow creature to wreak more havoc on our planet.
With surprising speed, Frieza and Cooler launched into action, deploying all the power in an effort to contain the shadow creature. His attacks were precise and devastating, each blow carrying with it the weight of his determination and the desire to protect his home. However, the shadow creature was not going to be easily defeated. With a thunderous scream, he split into 4 separate beings, each one darker and more malevolent than the last. The earth trembled under their weight as they advanced towards the warriors, ready to unleash their fury on them.
It seems that this creature has more tricks up its sleeves than we thought.
It doesn't matter. We have our own tricks.
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.